Fib's out there speaking to some of his boys.
You should be about 15 stone, the amount of food that you managed to put down.
Thanks, Ken.
Cop that.
I mean, at least I show mine. When I show mine.
Must have hollow legs.
No. Anyway, both sides lined up here for the national anthem. That's a great moment. You know, it's not something you do all the time. As I don't know if we're shutting up to the national anthem. I'm not a big national anthem person, it must be said. God Save the Queen was my national anthem growing up. So
Well, I think it's going to be hard to hear in our mics with the anthem is underway.
It's a great moment because you go to the MCG and you see the sides sort of line up and to have your little moment in the sun of having that is a good moment.
Are you a hands behind the back footy player when you line up, or as Mazenod are doing, or the arms around each other as the Peninsular old boys?
I prefer just standing separate, actually.
You don't want someone's pit up near your nose?
I'm not a big fan of the linking of arms, John.
No, I'm not either.
No.
Not
necessary.
And it's very rare. It's very rare that two sides both stand. There's always one side that's got their arm around each other.
It was just here, Peninsula linked arms, and Mazenod didn't. So we'll see how that plays out this afternoon.
Yeah, and we'll.
I'd like to see on the TV when they do that at least the players have the sense that mouth the words of the national anthem, even if they don't want to sing.
We're not great singers, the Victorian sports people. It's more something that the
rugby. You don't have to be a great singer to mine.
Up north.
As Peninsula have won the toss and will be kicking to the scoreboard end of Elstonwick Park. The general punters and the like have made their way off the ground now, so only minutes from the start. The final addresses by the captains.
Looks to me like Peninsula are kicking down to the scoreboard end by the number of blue POBFC hoodies heading down towards the scoreboard. There's a sea of them heading there. Obviously, they're the ones that have been over at the Elstonwick Hotel, trying to just get the tonsils in.
It is quite a sea, isn't it,
order.
of the blue jumpers as they come past our commentary position.
Yes, so they'll be down that bottom end to win an end that will be favoured a bit by the wind.
What do you reckon it is, Johnny?
I've actually been for a walk out there. Look, there were goals kicked at the other end. It does seem to be a little bit stronger now. It's not your traditional Elstonwick Park wind. It's just slightly more across the ground than into that pocket like it normally is. Teams were able to kick goals up at the Glen Huntly Road end of the ground. So, look, it is some advantage to kick down there. Like if you've got the ball out on the grandstand side of the ground and you're kicking for goal at the scoreboard end, you can get the distance from quite a long way. We saw a lovely goal from one of the Willie blokes late in the third quarter there that was an important goal for them. So just looking forward to the game.
A tip for us, Canis?
Mazenod.
Mazenod for Ken.
Mazenod for me, yep.
Mazenod for Chris.
Yeah, probably Mazenod. They sort of were 1 or 2 all year on the ladder. So.
All right. Well, I'll take Peninsula.
Good on you, love. Nothing better than an underdog.
Yeah.
Better than a bulldog, perhaps.
Maybe today.
Hot dog.
Maybe today. So players finding their positions. As we said, the ground looks sensational, Nick.
Great day of a mix of people from all over Melbourne here. We've got people from Williamstown. We've got the Nodders from out in the southeast, and the Mount Eliza people from for Peninsula. So
classic
real mix
local
of
footy, where the reserves players with the medals around their neck, enjoying, just celebrating with a dart.
There's a dart going on down there. I thought this was a smoke-free park.
I think when you win a premiership, you can do what you want. Game underway, Chris Venus.
So Fisher tries to win the tap. Can't get it out of the middle. Mazenod get it going in their direction. But Peninsula got their head over the footy then. Could have been a free kick there to Mazenod, but not paid. Umpire says, give it to me. So these two sides have played twice in season 2016. Mazenod won on both occasions. In round 5, they defeated Peninsula by 18 points. And then in round 15, they won by 23 points. So both clashes in season 2016 have been close. Ball on the outer side of the ground. Peninsula, I think a handball going to Pays, but ball went out of bounds before he got a handle on it. And we'll have a boundary throw in. Outer side of the ground. Beautiful afternoon of football. Travelled just on a minute. No score yet on the William Buck scoreboard. Outer side of the ground. Belted forward by Mazenod. Picked up by Peninsula, though. And driven into the ground with a tackle. And we'll have a ball up.
It's good to see two jumpers that aren't familiar playing out there, Ken.
Yeah, I can't tell anyone from anyone.
Little push and shove early in the game. Ball goes up in the air. A hand pass comes out. Lots of pressure around the footy, but it's Peninsula who just jam it on the boot. They'll go inside 50, scoreboard end. Elstonwick Park. Pairs down there, gets bashed towards the boundary by the defender, and happy to see it over.
A little bit of pushing and shoving going on in various parts of the ground, with boys just exerting and letting go a little bit of nervous energy towards direct opponents. Good to see. Classic football stuff, the finals.
So Thomas going up against Marshall. Tap comes down, then a big punch inside forward 50. Defenders on it. They go with a 1-2, ends up with Phibbs. It goes wide, has a man who gets clobbered. It'll get a free kick for it, pushing the back. Came into spoil, didn't have his arms in the air, so Thomas has won the free kick for Mazenod. Outer side of the ground, might just go long down the wing, to which he does. Players will fly, no mark taken, boundary line very close. And over it goes.
Well, they've settled into the way to work Sports Cover Arena. They couldn't be any further away from us than they are.
But very composed bit of play out of the back line there. Ben Phibbs spotting up a teammate, and he went back, took the kick, kept it down the line, and they managed to get another stoppage.
So Rucks go at it. Quick kick out of the pack to Mazenod. They get it to half forward, but mark taken by Felgen at left half back for Peninsula.
That's a name that we know about. Scribe.
Yeah, so he's kicked there, found a teammate at left half back. It's Fletcher of the James variety. And he tries to get it to a teammate, but muffs it up. We'll have a boundary throw in, right half forward, Mazenod in attack. So the ball forward for Peninsula, but the wrong direction. Mazenod kicked to half forward. Good spoil on that occasion by Moingard. Peninsula unable to grab it, and we'll have a ball up, right half forward, Mazenod in attack. So he throws it up, Fisher knocks it down. Peninsula get it going in their direction now. Streaming through the middle of the ground, it's Harbison. So he kicks from a half back to half forward. One-on-one situation, or player loses his feet for Peninsula. Mazenod doing very well. It's eyes on. Goes with the right foot kick, outer side of the ground. Bouncing ball, picked up now by Mazenod. Got a little bit of time. Can they find someone? No, not before the boundary line beats them. They moved it to half forward, outer side of the ground. We'll have a boundary throw in. 3 minutes travelled. First quarter action on the William Buck scoreboard.
So umpire throws it back in over his head. Goes a little bit towards Windside, scoreboard end, tapped down towards the boundary line, and rolls over in front of Fletcher.
There's a little bit of howdy-do there.
Little shove.
That was Ben Phibbs there, I think.
So not a lot of open play early in this first quarter, as you can expect sometimes in a grand final.
It's our favourite boundary umpire again. She does a great job.
It's come out the back, trying to do the groundwork is Hall. And he's got a free kick for too high, I think, climbing off the deck. The umpire will eventually direct the footy his way. So they're on the wing, outer side of the ground. Mazenod have got the footy in their hands through Hall. And they've got 25 metres, I think. Might have been a little bit of mouthing off, as the man didn't seem to go over the mark any further. Well, actually, it's not at 25 metres. It's a downfield. So it's gone to where the ball was kicked, which means this is going to be a shot on goal. So very costly.
So Sincotta?
Sincotta, we'll go with that. Sincotta is going to have a shot, so not taking much time at all. May not think he has the distance, or does he? Yes, he does. Loads up, starts right, stays right, and just through for one behind. The first score on the board for Mazenod, 4.5 minutes into this C-grade grand final on the William Buck scoreboard, and Sky High Mount Dandenong.
So Peninsula waste no time. They bring it to the broadcast side of Sports Cover Arena, streaming through the middle of the ground of Peninsula. Just turn it over though. In the middle, ball now in dispute. Mazenod diving in, trying to get there. Can't pick it up. Stacks on the meal. Umpire says, give it to me. Broadcast ring, just attacking side of the centre for Mazenod. They lead one behind. Peninsula yet to score. Premier C section, grand final action. Fisher belts it forward for Peninsula. No one's able to grab it. Met with a strong tackle there is Banbury for Peninsula. But a little bit of push and shove, a little bit of niggle. And umpire says, give it to me. So travelled 5 minutes this opening quarter, brought to you by Sky Home and Dandenong. Umpire throws it up. Fisher punches it forward again for Peninsula. Got it going in their direction. Banbury gets a handball to Fletcher. They've mucked it up. Mazenod Hill, he's got it. He's wrapped up and he's pinged for holding the footy. Umpire pays advantage. Peninsula kick to half forward. Mazenod get a quick kick out of the pack. That's not going to be 15 though, so be play on. Big spoil over the top from Harbison. Not able to get it, and Mazenod now take it from half back.
So Mazenod out to the wing. Mark taken by Phibbs. Has a little bit of time in front of our commentary position. Loads up to space in the end. Pairs running towards it. Peninsula win the race, and happy to see it over the line was Felgen. So just in front of the Peninsula bench. So Peninsula kicking with the out of the breeze so far, but haven't been deep inside 50 in this opening term yet as the big punch goes in Mazenod's direction, but the kick comes back towards Peninsula in front of us. Pack flies, trying to get the crumbs at ground levels. Is on, couldn't quite. Oh, that could have been high. The umpire's going to say duck. No, he says high and he says play on, and Peninsula are out running through Smeardle. A wobbly one, very wobbly one inside 50. Which way will it bounce? Defender's got some work to do. That's a good tackle, strong tackle by Pays. What's the umpire going to do? He's going to give it a ball up. But you're right, Ken. He really held on to him there. Nowhere to go. So directly out from Peninsula's goal, 40 metres out. They work it through hands, through George Fletcher. Spill the footy though, in dispute again. And Mazenod diving in. Players' arms out, want home the ball. They're not going to get it. It's going to be a ball up.
Like the way Pays went straight back into the goal square then, just to be a one-on situation.
So 7 minutes travelled, Peninsula in attack. It's Mazenod one behind. Peninsula yet to score. Quick kick out of the pack. It's smothered. Peninsula back and go again. Smart handball by Harrison. They work it to half forward note. Mazenod though, keep their eye on the footy. Good pick up by Riley. So he's doing some nice work up against the boundary. They kick up the line. Mark not taken by Peninsula. They've got some numbers here. Smeardle gives a good handball to a teammate who's under plenty of pressure. He does well though. Breaks a tackle. That was Fletcher. Kicks to the top of the square. But defensive mark taken by the playing coach is Ben Phibbs, and Mazenod work it to left back, half back.
He's had a good start. Phibbs has been steady. He's been around the footy. Mazenod decide to just poke it short and hit the chest of McKenna. So on a half back, the half back flank. The left boot will send it. The wind's going to take it. You're right, Ken. It's going to be out on the full. And so Peninsula are going to have another chance to go forward for James Fletcher. No, it's going to go to Brody.
Get caught in this pocket.
Yeah, hard to clear. So he's gone straight towards the middle of the hot spot. There's no one really there, though, except Mazenod players, and Hall takes the mark for them. He's getting plenty of instruction from someone else with the pointing fingers. Kicks out wide as the wind picks up here. Riley reels it in, has some attention, goes short, finds his teammate. No, it just fell short and bobbled out. So it's going to come back towards Peninsula way, and that mark's dropped by Barber. It was a bullet and bounced off his chest and out of bounds, out of sight of the ground. So coming up to 9 minutes gone, Mazenod just lead it one behind to nil, although it's Peninsula who are kicking to the scoring end according to the wind. Thrown in, players dive in on the footy and it'll be balled up.
So played 9 minutes opening quarter, Premier C section grand final action at Sports Cover Arena. Mazenod one behind, yet to score Peninsula. So quick kick out of the pack from Inglis.
Back the boundary there.
Yeah, hugging the boundary there. Harrison gets a good handball though. Comes to Banbury. Banbury, he kicks just over the head of his man there. Ball in dispute, keeping his eye on the footy brilliantly. There was Collins. Couldn't handle on it though there. And free kick going to Mazenod, and they'll take it in the back pocket.
So Mazenod holding firm here, coming up to 10 minutes. They've scored the one behind. They go out towards the wing. Pack will fly, and a good mark's being taken in the front by Mazenod, front of the pack. So looking to move the ball deliberately, but still really going long each time as they take their time. Ball at ground level, reeled in by Welsford. We can have a little bit of a run there along the wing now. A couple of bounces. There's no one inside 45. He just loads it up. wants someone to fly, didn't quite have the carry on it. And Southern Port Peninsula has taken the mark, and they're out here. It is a good kick. Out to the wing, they can go again. Man on.
Pace.
It's a good lead. So can go over the top again. This one might fall short. No, gets there. And then the crumbs are being picked up by Harbison. Goes inside 50. Oh, could have been pushed there in the marking contest. Barber, that's what the fans wanted. The umpire said no, and it's rolled out of bounds. About 20 metres round from goal.
Good ball movement there from Peninsula. They brought it out of the back line with a really good sweeping kick out, and really good honest endeavours at the ball in the forward pocket. And remember the chance here.
So Peninsula in attack, looking for the first goal of the grand final in Premier C section. Mazenod, though, they clear it to half-back. High, up and under. Not able to take the mark is Patty. Ball in dispute. Smyrtle in there as well. Quick kick by Mazenod, and they belt it forward. Numbers here, though, with Peninsula. It's picked up by Brody. Brody, beautiful kick to centre half forward. Mark taken by Banbury. So he's a kick and a half from goal. Goes with a right foot kick across the goal.
Yeah, I don't know what you want about there. Yeah.
Crowder's marked it, but man on the mark is on the 45, about 5 metres in from the boundary.
Yeah, so he had the ball just on the 45, and he really should have gone back and had a ping from where he was with that wind behind him, but he's passed it off to a teammate who's out in the boundary having a shot.
So Crowder, this will take every bit of his best and some. Kick. He approaches the 45 on its way. He's ended up putting it to the top of the square instead. And strong mark taken by the big fella in Nick Thompson for Mazenod, and they will clear from fullback.
So they'll decide to go the outside ground. The umpire's saying, no, come back over your mark. Let's get organised here. So in the end, he goes by hand. Player has some good protection from the Shepherd. Can go a bit longer down the wing. The boundary line might favour them here, although it could stay in. No. Used that outside the ground and the boundary line as a friend so far, Mazenod, haven't they?
Well, it is, and with this wind, which is becoming a more traditional Elstonwick Park wind, that side of the ground is the way out. It's very hard. Sides have got it back in play. I'll talk in a second.
Ball thrown in. Fisher and Thomas go at it. Tap comes down in front. Peninsula with a quick kick from the pack. Sends them inside, 50 again. Players fly, still in pairs. Ground level, what can be done? Overrun it. They pick it up, hands. Still on the 45, hand pass smothered to Mazenod. You get the clearing kick. It's carried, found a teammate, not on the full though, but has a little bit of time. They're trying to go with the 1-2. Can't in the end, chopped off by Harbinson. Then they head it back inside and Welsford's taken it. Has a man on out. Which way will it bounce? No, not into his arms. So Peninsula can pick up the crumbs, not really spotting up a target, just lobbing it high and asking someone to get on it. Spoils at ground level. Peninsula, another wobbly kick, will send them inside at 50.
Oh, it's almost
almost, you're right. Couldn't quite. At ground level has work to do. Mazenod defenders dive in on it.
Shut down. So look, they it's really important that Peninsula don't come in too far wide on that far pocket, because it's really easy to defend.
So ball thrown up, Peninsula deep in attack, sharking it at ground level is Glenn, kicking it to the top of the square. Ball in dispute right on the goal line and goes out of bounds next to the right behind post, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
It's actually amazing. We are 13 and a half minutes into the quarter and we've had one behind score.
So behind to Mazenod, and umpire's picked out a free kick here, and it's going to Mazenod. So it'll be taken by Liam Riley, right back pocket. Didn't spot what it was for. So he hugs the outer side of the ground. It'll be hard to mark this big fly from the big fella Fisher for Peninsula. Punches it out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in left half forward. Peninsula still in attack. So they're yet to score. Mazenod one behind.
Both sides' back lines are on top, although, you know, the quality of the ball coming in is making it pretty easy for them. Both back lines, I'm saying.
So neither of the rucks got onto it, and it was because there was an infringement, and the ball will go to Thomas for Mazenod, thrown out of the ruck contest by Fisher. So one half back will stay on the outer side of the ground, go long down the wing. And well, that's the umpire saying.
Wrong
come back
play.
and do it up.
Was it? A swap players, was it?
No, we're coming back to do it again. And this time he decides to go short instead of long and finds Hall near the boundary. I'm sure Mazenod would be happy to soak up the time here. Kicking to the non-scoring end, or the harder to score end, as they go long. Big man in front, brought it to ground, flying high over the top was gentle, couldn't quite bring it down. The umpire will come in to ball it up. wing, out of side of the ground at Elstonwick Park.
A long way away, Joe.
It is. And the umpire's found a free kick in the ruck again, this time going in the opposite direction. So it'll be Peninsula through Fisher, who's won the footy.
So Fisher's been good and prominent early. So Peninsula still yet to score. We've ticked past 15 minutes in this opening quarter. Mazenod just the one by the bullet pass. Terrific mark by Sam Glenn for Peninsula. So man on the mark on the 45, but with this breeze...
No, he should be able to
Should he have a
that.
shot?
Yeah, I mean...
No, he chooses not to. He passes.
I mean, there it is.
Not a
There's
great
there's a
pass.
couple of things of what Peninsula are doing here. I mean, that, as you called, was a bullet pass in. Really hard thing to mark. They've got to take the pace off the ball and not send bullet. Every ball that's gone in has just been going at a rapid rate, and it's really hard to mark. And then passing it off when you're within range, it needs to be to someone who is well clear.
So Thomas won the tap for Mazenod from the boundary throw-in. Down to a teammate, though, who was set upon by a couple of Peninsula players. So they hold the ball in. So boundary throw-in, ball up rather 30 metres out. Moingard gets a handle on it, so does Fisher. Gets a little handball to Stu Grigg, the skipper. Quick kick out of the pack for Peninsula, goes right to the goal line and hits the post. So one behind for Peninsula. I didn't catch who kicks that. But first score for Peninsula, one behind, Mazenod one behind. And that's on the William Buck scoreboard. Travelled 16 and a half minutes opening quarter, Premier C Grand Final. Still yet to have a goal.
So the Peninsula fans...
And that's not an easy thing, Joe.
Giving them
down that into the ground,
plenty of grief.
kicking into the teeth of that breeze. Not an easy thing. As Sean Pay's looking like he's given everything in the first 10 minutes of the game, coming off, and he has to go back on.
As the kick goes long, it was Pay's who kicked that behind too. The kick goes long, makes it outside the 45, and another quick kick from Mazenod by Paddy. We'll get a bit further towards the boundary line. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full. And so Peninsula will be bringing the ball back inside. They'd want to get a couple of goals, you'd think. Obviously, with this breeze, they'd be looking for a lead.
But you know what it's like, Joe. Sometimes here it's difficult to score with the breeze.
As the ball goes along, it almost went over the back. Mazenod players there able to reel it in. Phibbs bends around the corner. Oh, good mark, good body work. Peninsula won the footy. They can go back inside again. Another low kick. Their forward entries really haven't been great.
Just not taking enough time with it.
And Mazenod able to clear it, although a little smother on the hand pass keeps it in the area and it's slapped out of bounds by Moignard.
Yeah, they've really got to take care with those kicks inside 50. As I said, take the pace off the ball when you're kicking in, and there's a lot of Mazenod players back there.
So boundary thrown between wing and half forward for Peninsula. Big win there from the ruck was Mazenod, but quick kick around the corner from Peninsula. But they're going to get a free kick for too high, so James Fletcher will take it. I feel like they need a goal here just to calm their nerves.
Get them going.
Get them going.
I think the crowd wants the release, I think.
Yeah. The longer it goes, the bigger the roar will be when we get the first goal. So James Fletcher
been to many soccer games.
So, yeah. Oh, now his kick's been smothered. Now, if Mazenod can get it here, they've got a very open forward line. Ball in dispute, but goes out of bounds. A little bit of push and shove there, but it was a good spoil by Wellsford for Mazenod. So boundary throw in, out of sight of the ground, as it must be said, most of the play has been in this first quarter in the Premier C Grand Final. It's one behind each. We've travelled 18 and a half minutes in the opening quarter. So between wing and half forward, Thomas wants it for Mazenod. A quick kick only as far as Paddy. So Paddy kicks out of sight of the ground, goes out of bounds on the full. Free kick will go for Peninsula, true wing position.
So let's see if they can work the footy a little bit better inside attacking 50. As we said, they've got the breeze. They just load up long, keeping it near the boundary. Goes over the head of the player he was after, which was George Fletcher. And over the boundary line it goes. So they can reset. The boundary umpire will throw it in just outside the 45-metre arc, out of sight of the ground. Ticking up to 20 minutes gone in the first term for Sky High at Mount Dandenong. We're 1 point apiece on the William Buck scoreboard. Rucks go at it. Tap one down by Fisher. Back towards the boundary line. The quick kick comes inside for Peninsula. Which way will it bounce? Well, it bounces wide. And it'll be another ball in. This time closer to goal. Only about 10 metres round from the left-hand behind post. So a good opportunity. Lots of players around the footy.
Difficult conditions, though, especially with sides that wouldn't have experienced playing here. It's not easy.
So the two 16's got out in the ruck. Well, in the end, the big man takes it over the top. Umpire says play on, ends up the hand of Glenn. A couple of air swings at the footy. Players diving in on it now, not far from goal, and the umpire will come and ball it up. So it was Fisher there, the predominant ruckman around the ground, but obviously not inside forward 50, who went as third man up. And if you like, the tap comes down again. Lots of players around the ball. It's going to be hard to score from this area. And the umpire will come in for a secondary ball up.
So it ticked past 20 minutes in the opening quarter of the Premier C Grand Final. It's one behind a peach. Peninsula deep in attack. Only left forward pocket, 15 or so metres out. Big belt forward by Fisher, but goes forward through for a behind.
So they've hit the front.
They've hit the front, and they've doubled their score. They've gone to 2 behinds. Peninsula 1 behind. Travelled almost 21 minutes in this opening quarter. Now Mazenod have got the task of kicking in front of the Peninsula fans, and they do a pretty good job. Kick out of side of the ground. Good spoil there from Schurman for Peninsula, and we'll have a boundary throw in left half forward. Peninsula still in attack, as the ball has been for most of this opening quarter.
Interesting to see. I think we're needing some stats on the inside 50 at quarter time to see what it's been like. As Fisher and Thomas go at it again, third man up, ball comes down in front. Trying to wheel in the footy. Harrison near the boundary line, but it's tumbled over. No, he's won himself a free kick. Harrison leading to the ball. Got a shove. There's lots of players, a little bit of a push and shove. The umpire's saying, get out of it, boys. Let's play footy. And this time, Peninsula just goes short. Still 2 kicks from goal. They load up again, this time going across, looking for the big man. The tap has come in, chopped off by Thomas, Reece Thomas. So Mazenod holding firm. Not many attacking chances themselves, just the one really that got them that one behind. They made it to the wing, out of sight of the ground. Player drops the footy. Umpire says keep going, and Mazenod will get a quick kick. Attacking 50. Is this going to carry? Well, it has. Fortuitously landed in the lap. Moldman, who'll think he's got the leg. The man on the mark's outside the 45. He's just going to load up to the hot spot. A bit of holding going on in the end. The defender has won himself the free kick for holding. So I think it was James Fletcher there. The Peninsula Old Boys will be able to clear and go a little wider out the side of the ground.
So they've got it here through the agency of Pomeroy. Kicks up to right half back. Mark though taken by Mazenod. It's Wellsford. So he goes to the right foot kick. Marked. 2 kicks from goal. Swing onto the left boot. It's definitely a miss kick and going to be an easy uncontested mark here to Grigg. So Peninsula can go. They've marked it up though. Mazenod have got some numbers on their half forward line. Not able to hang on to it though. Breaking through. Doing a good job, but cutting it off is Glenn there for Peninsula. Quick kick out of the pack for Peninsula. Goes in their direction. One-on-one situation. Around the corner was the kick from Patty though. Finds a teammate, but not before. No, free kick given to Mazenod and advantage paid. So they work it to half forward. High up and under kick. Almost a very strong mark, but Fisher just got his boot to the ball. And doing well is Peninsula is Coughlin. Kicked it off the ground, gained 15 or so metres, and we'll have a boundary throw in right half forward. Mazenod in attack. 23 and a half minutes gone. Opening quarter, Premier C Grand Final. Peninsula 2 behind. Mazenod 1 behind. Joe, let's see if we can find a goal.
No, it's taking some time here. C-grade Grand Final. From that throw, it's tapped back towards the boundary, and the kick off the ground by the big man in Fisher.
Around the grounds, we're down at Beaumaris. They're at Sandy. Beaumaris at 3-2-20. St Bede's are 1-2-8, and that is 26 minutes into the first quarter.
So Mazenod have the footy from that out of bounds kick, and we'll load up. Outside the ground, Elstonwick Park. They hug the boundary. The defenders obviously want the boundary line, and that's what they've got. So 60 metres round from the Mazenod goal. 24 minutes gone. They're kicking against the breeze in this first term. Mazenod for Sky High Mount Dandenong. Ball thrown in. This time Thomas gets the punch going in his size direction for Mazenod, but it's the defenders of Peninsula. Well, I was going to say you've done a great job, but they've just spilt the footy, and it's going to have a chance to come back inside. Bouncing ball, if they can get hands over the top. Trying to wheel around is Simcotta, and he's got his second behind for the game. So almost bent it too far in the end, the snap around the body. Now he has the 2 behinds, which is Mazenod's score. Peninsula also with the 2 behind, scores are tied. We've got the close one.
Oh, we have. It's a cracking kick.
So Peninsula waste no time, almost to the centre of Sports Cover Arena. Terrific kick. So in 2 kicks, they're now in half forward, and taking an uncontested mark is George Fletcher. So open forward line. Has not pushed a few numbers back, but he might fancy himself here with the breeze. Man on the mark at 47 metres out.
Told him to play
so
on.
He plays on, goes short. That must have just been the required distance.
This is a kickable goal, and he's going back to have a shot, Fletcher. So
James Fletcher now has got the footy. So man on the mark, 45 metres out, 45-degree angle. So 25 and a half minutes has been played in this opening quarter. 2 behinds apiece. So Fletcher, deliberate approach on the left foot. Kick on its way. It's coming back. It looks good. He's kicked it. And the fans for Peninsula love it. And James Fletcher kicks the first goal for the game at the 25th minute mark. And Peninsula go to 1-2-8. They lead Mazenod 2 behinds.
Well, let that be a lesson to both teams, really, that you don't need necessarily to get the ball to where the massive players are in that sort of 10, 15, 20, 30 metres out directly in front. You know, where in this case Mazenod have got all their numbers, you can get it in on that flank, and that is a very easy shot from goal with that breeze over your shoulder, as Fletcher just proved.
So back in the middle of the ground, Fisher tapped it down. Ball in dispute in the centre. Little tap on, I guess, Sirioli style. Peninsula old boys, and they're going to go inside 50 again.
Good kick.
So could we see a couple of goals?
Oh, a great mark. He's not going to pay it.
No, he said it hit the deck, and the Peninsula fans, the boys are saying, come on.
What
was that?
Terrific fly.
Oh, it was huge. Flew right over the top. Couldn't quite, I think it bounced
It
down
almost
at
got
ground
propelled
level.
up into the air and then came down, and the ball came out of his hands when he hit the ground, but he had it for long enough. He brought it to ground, I think.
So Peninsula still have it in their area. Mazenod dives on the footy. He's going to pay
Good old bell burster.
too high. That's almost those 50-50 though. The AFL, that's fibs when you crash into their legs. But Phibbs has won himself the footy.
And he's just taking a bit of time off the clock here, using
smart.
every bit of that experience that he's got, Ben Phibbs.
We better get rid of it. As the umpire says, play on. The chase is on. He just goes wide, out of sight of the ground. No mark taken. Punch over the top. And surprise, surprise, out on the boundary line it goes.
So, just a very, very low scoring. I mean, the goals have barely been threatened throughout the quarter at both ends.
So 6-point lead to Peninsula. Won them by Smith from the boundary throw-in. No one's able to get a handle on it and trickles back out of bounds. So 1-2-8 Peninsula. Mazenod 2 behinds. Travelled almost 28 minutes in this first quarter. Premier C section grand final. Listening to 96.5 Era FM football. So Thomas takes it from the ruck, goes across the body, trying to keep it in front of him for his Peninsula, but not able to do so. And we'll have a boundary throw in. So just Mazenod's attacking half of the ground. They trail by 6 points. A goal late would tie the scores. So Thomas gets it going their way. Mazenod have slipped out the back now. Kick inside 50. Who's at home? Well, there's a couple of players at home, but the ball went out of bounds, and free kick will be taken by Banbury for Peninsula.
So across half back, just loads up, sends it back along the wing where it came. Mazenod in best position and able to reel in the mark. They decide to move it quickly. It doesn't matter, they've got a 25-metre penalty. So this will move the footy up almost, well, within scoring range. We'll take a good kick. The man on the mark just inside the 45. But it looks like he's going to have a shot at it. I didn't catch the number.
No, didn't either.
So we'll wait and see. It loads up. We'll take a good kick from here. Doesn't look too bad on the boot. Holding up in the breeze. Not quite going to have the carry. And punched over.
He did everything right there.
Tall, yeah.
Just the wind at the last second slowed things down.
So another behind for Mazenod. They go to 3 behinds, trailing Peninsula 1-2-8.
So Egan with a bullet pass up the middle of the ground, marked at centre half back by Sam Glenn. No one stands the mark, so Glenn comes to the broadcast side of the ground, but uncontested mark taken by Mazenod. So a bit of flow finally getting to this game. It's Gentile. He marks just defensive side of the win for Mazenod. Goes with the right foot kick, really. Holds up in the breeze. And working to the front position there is Brad Sherman. So he squares it. Not a great kick. He was going to the open goal here. Kick, can he run onto it? He's Murdoch. He's got it now. He wants the kick.
You got to kick it.
He's made it very hard for himself, and he's gone right across the face of goal from the left forward pocket to the right forward pocket, dribbled the ball on the ground, and goes out of bounds.
Possibly a little too unselfish there. He should have just kept thundering in towards the goal, and if the second he got tackled, just thrown onto his boot, he could have dribbled a goal. But he's trying to be too unselfish and centre the ball back.
I think Murdoch was looking for his right foot, and the further closer he got to the boundary line, the closer he got to having to use his left, which he did. So Egan takes it, clears it from the contest, kicks to Southam, so he gets it at right half back. Over the top mark taken by Harrison. Harrison goes with the right foot kick, but it's not a great one. Mazenod 4-on-1, and mark taken there by Paddy.
Not ideal there, that's just giving the ball straight up.
So 31 minutes ticked over in this first term Premier League Grand Final. Peninsula lead it by 5. Paddy just loads up near the boundary line and over it goes. So the umpire will ball it in right in front of our commentary position here at Sports Cover Arena, Elsternwick Park, on a beautiful spring September day in Melbourne. Great day for footy. The umpire throws it in, rucks go at it, third man comes up, ball comes down in front. Peninsula win the footy. Wrapped up straight away by Inglis for Mazenod, the vice captain. And Schmerdel will give it back to the umpire, who'll ball it up. Not far inside the boundary line. Player won the footy, tackled straight away. We'll do it again. Fierce tackle. Gets a little pat on the back for it too. And we'll do it all again. The big V circles as Mazenod have won it. Wobbly kick off the boot. They've still got the footy though. Hand pass inside, and they'll send inside 50 for Riley over the top, over the back. 2 bites. Umpire says no. Defender got the first hand on it. Was a tough one. Oh, that was probably right by the umpire. They're often paid though. Ball in dispute. Or it's popped out of the pack. A little kick smothered off the boot. And a little bit of composure winning the footy, and coming out the other side was Harbinson. And he's found a teammate out of side of the ground. So
Peninsula got it left half back. And the quarter time siren goes. Travelled 32.5 minutes. Just the one goal though. Peninsula 1-2-8. Lead Mazenod 3 behind. Premier C Grand Final footy. We'll take a break. Come back and look back at the first quarter.
Done what they needed to do and open up with the first goal of the quarter. So it's 2-3-15 to 3-4-22.
So Chris Venus with the second quarter.
So Peninsula lead by 5 points. It's Mazenod though getting the ball out of the centre. They go inside 45, reaching back. Good mark taken.
That was an important mark because that was a really good forward movement. And if they'd have got a goal straight off at the first second of the second quarter, they'd have got a bit of momentum, I would say.
So Peninsula moved the ball to the defensive wing position, outer side of the ground. Winning a free kick there is Southam. So umpire calls him to play on. He goes very short, finds a teammate in Moingard. So he's got it just attacking side of the wing for Peninsula. Also likes to go short. The big fella out on the lead though, Sean Pays, 350 plus games for Peninsula. He's kicked 100 goals in a season. So he's going to be one to watch this afternoon. So I think mark taken here by Collins. So he goes short. So quite a deliberate approach here for
obviously
Peninsula.
Some different instructions at quarter time.
Yeah, and also kicking into the breeze now. So they've gone a long way back though now. Coughlin takes the mark, and they're back where they were. Defensive side of the wing now. So Mazenod really pushing up well.
Bang.
Spewing past from Coughlin. No, manages to keep it alive. Peninsula, they kick with a scrubber of a kick to half forward. They sweep back now. So quick kick from Cowper. No one's able to take the mark. Goes out of bounds. Tom McKenna couldn't grab it for Mazenod, and we'll have a boundary throw in right half forward. Peninsula in attack.
So they've controlled it quite well in that couple of minutes. So a bit of a risk going backwards with that wind, and you are asking a lot of your skills with the wind being the way it is.
So tap comes down from Fisher. Ball in dispute in front of him. The umpire's found a free kick, and the players aren't too happy about it. As in, it must have been a bit high, a little bit crude. And players thrown to deck. Three little spot fires with 2 or 3 players each, and the umpire says, play on. No, he says, you've got 25 metres.
Good old-fashioned Barney going on over there.
So it's going to be Moingard who's now within range. So the umpire obviously spotted something off the ball in one of those spot fires that are still going and grown in numbers. They look to be breaking up now.
Save your energy for the grand final and kicking goals, you blokes. None of this resting on the ground. They all get up stuffed.
So the man on the mark would be 30 from goal. So very kickable now by Moingard. So after they struggled just to get the one in the first quarter, they could have their second in a hurry. So deliberate approach, keeps it relatively low, swinging left, staying left, and through for one behind. They go to 139 Peninsula. Mazenod yet to score a goal, just the 3 behinds on the William Buck scoreboard. Bayford scoreboard, sorry, second quarter.
So Mazenod waste no time bringing it to half back. Hill not able to take the mark. And he's going to get a free kick though for hands in the back against Coghlan of Peninsula.
It was.
Look a lot in that, did there, John?
No, I think he was having a fair contest at the ball.
So Hill, right half back, goes with a short pass. Oh, just mark taken by Mazenod, and in the end paid for chopping the arms. So it gives a handball to a player who went up and down on the spot quite literally, Rob Mann. It's a handball back now, going one way than the other. They're just really struggling here, Mazenod. So they kick to half forward, 2-on-1 situation. Oops. And numbers with Peninsula. They get a quick kick up the middle of the ground. Strong mark taken there by the big fella.
It's too late.
So Alex Marshall has got it. Defensive side of the wing. Kicks to half forward. Well, that could have been a free kick to Peninsula.
It
was indeed to Stephen Barber. So he's got it. 2 kicks from goal. Kicks into the left forward pocket. Flying high there is Mazenod. On the ground level, though, is Pays. Just pushed as he kicked. Effected the kick. Goes to the right forward pocket. Chase is on.
Fletcher.
Leading in the way is George Fletcher. Tries to pick it up. Just outmanoeuvred by his Mazenod teammate.
Got it back.
They do well, though. They get it back now on this occasion. Fletcher's got it. He's got some time. Goes with a left foot kick right to the goal line. Punch through for 1 behind. So Peninsula go to 1-4-10. They lead by 7 points. Mazenod 3 behinds. Travelled 4 1/4 minutes. Second quarter brought to you by BLK Sport.
It's going to be a long day.
Opening up a bit, though, in this second term as Hall for Mazenod just decides to go long in front of our commentary position. Carries over a couple of players. The hand pass comes out wide to the long sleeves of the Keos. It's near the boundary line. Do they want to reel it in? Yes, Mazenod decide to because they've got a bit of run. It's Welsford. Spots up a kick. Has a man out. Plenty of time. Murdoch. Good weighted kick. Perfectly weighted kick to Thomas. And he probably could have played on, had the couple of metres on his opponent, but he'll decide to go back and have the shot. Distance won't be a worry, and the angle isn't too great.
Should not miss it, but he was clear.
The pressure can come on when you have time to think about it.
Absolutely. They haven't kicked a goal yet, and all that sort of stuff.
So he's trying everything. He's put the divot in the ground, measuring his steps back. Now he's going with the grass throw, and now the leg swing. So he's got all the routines covered. Reece Thomas.
But can he kick it?
We'll soon see, as he's going to be told now you have to wait because there's a blood rule coming off the ground.
Just keeping them guessing, Mazenod, aren't they? Just making it as hard for it as they possibly can.
I just hope this is Thomas's usual routine.
He's had about 3 leg swings now. I hope he doesn't do a hammy on the fourth one.
The nerves are sort of maybe starting to settle in here. He's had plenty of time to think about it. As this play comes off the ground.
That's right. I mean, he could have kicked the goal. We'd be back at the centre. The ball would be bounced at the centre if he had played on.
So clock ticking. Just waiting. Player to resume position with the blood rule. Umpire said, yes, Thomas, it's all yours now. So man on the mark would be only 15 from goal. Very slight angle for Mazenod's third. First. He's going to squeeze it in.
He's missed
it to the left.
Told you.
So they've got their fourth behind. They trail by the goal. Peninsula.
Just pressure Manny for not a goal.
Bayford scoreboard, 6.5 gone for BLK Sport.
All the seeds of doubt, isn't this going to be our day? And all this sort of thing. It spreads through the team in no time.
So Peninsula straight up the middle of the ground. Mark taken by Smurtle at centre half. Beck gets a handball to a teammate who brings it to the broadcast side of the ground. Pays not able to take it. Ball slips over the back. Mazenod have got it now. Handball from Hill to a teammate. On this occasion, it's Riley. So Riley kicks to the top of the square for Mazenod. One-on-one contest. Quick kick out of the goal square, and it's a goal. And I think as Simcotta kicks the first for Mazenod, and he has 1-2 for the afternoon, and Mazenod have 1-4-10 Peninsula 1-4-10. Scores are level in the Premier C Grand Final at Sports Cover Arena. Played 7 minutes second quarter. Brought to you by BLK Sport.
And number 8's turned around and gone to the box. Did you just see that? I've turned a potential only 6-point play into a 7-point play.
The plan all along.
That was the plan. So, look, a good steadying goal for Mazenod, and they just look a little bit more dangerous in that forward line. But Peninsula don't seem to be playing anyone loose back. No, they're not.
So back in the middle of the ground. Scores are tied, 1-4-10 apiece here. 7.5 minutes gone. Ball in dispute. Players dive in on it. Umpire says I'll come in and ball it up. Just through all of that too, Brodie for Peninsula came to the bench, only slightly limping, but then had a good punch of the wall of the coach's box. So he's obviously not happy about something, and I hope it's not an injury that he thinks will keep him out. As the ball bumbles inside, attacking a 45 for Mazenod. Plenty of players on the footy. The ball's still shuffling around, and eventually the umpire will come in and ball it up. So, low-scoring affair, to say the least, really, as 3 players go up for the ball. The tap over the top by Wellsford. Couldn't quite reel it in. Peninsula having to do the defending. Doesn't bounce that way, though, although they do the tackling in the end. And it's been able to reel in Harbison with some good work on the outer side of the ground.
So almost 9 minutes played. Second quarter, Premier C Grand Final, 1-4-10 apiece. Reaching over the top is Thomas. Quick kick, though, comes to his opposing ruckman on this occasion in Pays. Kicks to the wing position. Free kick going to Mazenod, though. So can they get something going here? Handball to a running teammate who kicks with the left foot. Inside 40. No one's able to take the mark. Numbers at ground level with Peninsula. So they stream through the middle of the ground. They've mucked it up, though, with Handball. Diving back in there is Smirtle. He's grabbed it. He's been wrapped up and pinged for holding the footy.
And in a very kickable position. The man on the mark just outside the 45. And with the breeze over his shoulder, he should be able to kick that.
So Liam Riley's got the footy, looking for Mazenod second.
Just around the ground. St Bede's at 2-6-18 to Bowie 3-5-23. That's 16 minutes. Second quarter.
So Liam Riley, kick on its way from 49 metres. Easily got the distance, but not the accuracy. One behind. So Mazenod hit the front, though. 1-5-11 leading Peninsula. 1-4-10. Travelled 10 minutes second quarter thanks to BLK Sport.
A big lot of supporters behind the goals there, Mazenod. Much bigger than the Peninsula group at the other end.
So Southam goes short. Finds Coghlan.
Known to his mates as Coggers.
It's pretty imaginative.
Have you made that up, John, or is that true?
They go across the front. They could be in danger here as Mazenod, a couple of hands inside, a little bend around the corner. This might have enough on it. It does. It was Kovac. So a great kick. And Mazenod have their second.
Yeah, well, no left foot. Why do you need a left foot when you can kick with your right foot like that and bend it back around, get it up, just threw it onto the boot, put it right up in the air with a bit of bend on it, and it came back nicely with the, not really with the aid of the wind. He had to actually kick it pretty hard, but it was a good goal. So just having a nice little period of play here, Mazenod.
So they lead by 7 points. 2-5 plays 1-4. Peninsula take it out of the middle of the ground, though. They kick to centre half forward. Almost a mark taken, but wasn't paid. So Mazenod try and crash through Jaden Hill. He's not able to do so, though. Wrapped up in a tackle, will have a ball up. So 80 metres out from Peninsula's goals.
Was the ball goal, wasn't it?
We'll check that and come back to it. I'll leave that with you, Joe.
21, I reckon.
So Thomas belted it forward for Mazenod. Sweeping the back of the pack, though, is Fletcher for Peninsula. Kicks it out wide. Strong mark taken by Felgen. So he looks to play on. 17. Does now. Squares the ball into the middle of the ground to Harrison. He handballs to Coghlan. Goes to the outer side of the ground. And Collins has got it now. Chips into the left half forward flank. But Southam's had the ball knocked away from him by Gus Paddy, and we'll have a boundary throw in right half forward. Peninsula in attack.
Just covering them off at every every opportunity now, Mazenod. They're going quite well.
They've won themselves a footy from the ruck. Takeaway by Thomas. And then the long kick, and the bounce has gone their way. And they're going to be inside 50 again, a one-on-one. This is tough to defend. Over the top, the defender's done well in the end.
Really well.
Kept his space, pushed the footy out in front, and then kicked it out wide.
That was Pomeroy.
And Harrison spilt the ball over the line. No, it hasn't. It's stayed in, and he's done well. He's reeled in the footy and then almost went for the boundary line.
Whoa.
Found a teammate, dangerous. Ball spilt here. So Peninsula in a bit of trouble as it's poked over the top into the arms of Singh Cotter. To the forward 50 in front.
Oh, don't handball that.
Oh.
What did he do that for?
Oh, he's kicked it anyway. But it was messy. It was very messy.
Well,
I actually thought the way he was running that it must have been a Peninsula player to hand pass it back inside.
What actually happened, he was running along the point line, the behind line, between the point post and the goal post with the ball, and he could have, seemingly from where we were positioned, gone in and just
kicked it,
poked it through himself. And instead of actually doing that, he handballed it back to someone in the goal square, and then he mucked it up, and then gradually the ball went to a couple of hands, and then he banged it over his shoulder and gave Kevy Sagoda some work down there.
They got it in the
end. He
being
the goal umpire.
So give it to Murdoch, I think, number 15.
I think we better check the papers tomorrow to find out all the goal kickers and best players.
I had Murdoch too.
Yeah, I thought that was Murdoch. So Mazenod now kicked 3 this term. They got a 3-5-23. They're by 13 points over Peninsula, 1-4-10. So they'll have a secondary ball up in the middle of the ground. Travelled almost 14 minutes in this second quarter. Brought to you by BLK Sport. And free kick going to Peninsula though. So much needed one for them inside 50. So the big fella Smith has got it. He hasn't got a lot to kick to though. So Mazenod have pushed their numbers back well. So he comes inboard, honouring a lead from Pays. Not able to get it though. And Mazenod again have it at ground level. They kick from half back to half forward. Plenty of space. Running onto it now is Reece Thomas. Goes with the right foot kick, but well, not his best effort. Goes out of bounds on the full. And free kick will go to Peninsula. Scoreboard unchanged at 3-5-23. Peninsula 1-4-10. 14 and a half minutes travel. That's on the Bayford scoreboard.
So Coughlin for Peninsula. A more free-flowing affair so far in this second term. 15 minutes gone. He just loads up, keeps it along the wing. Players will have to fly. It was good body work in the end to keep the Peninsula player out of it, and Paddy was able to take the mark for Mazenod, and will send them inside again. This will land in the goal square. Mark taken. Mazenod. Good body work. You could just see he sort of started from behind Murdoch, but that was fine the way the breeze was going. It was always going to have that bit of carry, and he just held his space. And he should just be able to lob this straight over the top, which he does. And Mazenod have their fourth. They go to 4-5-29. Extending that lead over to Peninsula, who are on 1-4-10 on the Bayford scoreboard.
Yeah, well, they're right on top here, Mazenod, and I don't understand that Peninsula need to change their setup. They haven't got a spare player back, and I looked before, and they did have a guy who was back off the pack, but not back down to where the kick was going to go. He was kind of in no man's land, possibly really just in an attacking position, but if he was thinking he was a man behind the play where he was standing, he was sadly out. And look, if you look there now, there is one loose player, but he's outside the 50. Look at him, see on the forward 50 arc? He needs to be back deep because the clearance by Mazenod will land well over his head.
Yeah.
So Peninsula get the clearance, so Grigg, the skipper, kicks the centre half forward.
And there's the Mazenod loose one at the other end inside the back 50, taking the mark.
Great analysis by the super coach, John Canis. So Mazenod kicked the outer side of the ground to no one in particular. 50-50 ball. Peninsula looking to come away with it. They do now. Player breaks a couple of tackles, does well. They kick inside 50, but just no one home at all. Two Mazenod players have got 10 or 15 metres. They can raffle it between them. They run to half back, kick up the line. Not a great kick though. Not taking the mark was Harbison. Good tackle applied by Mazenod player. It was Welsford, the vice captain. And Harbison will wish he took that grab. He had a bit of time. It was a tricky one. He was running back with the ball, and he had a clear sit on it. And umpire says, give it to me. So 4-5-29, Mazenod, 1-4-10, Peninsula. Ball knocked out of bounds from that boundary throw and played 17 minutes second quarter, brought to you by BLK Sport, and that 19-point lead is on the Bayford scoreboard.
It looks like Felgen's putting some work into Phibbs in this quarter, and they're running towards the footy now in a pair, but it's toe pokes over the lines and out. And Phibbs has just shoved him in the face.
Ugh.
Yeah, that was not his. I'm not sure that's not what he was aiming for. I think he was going for the chest, but he basically just shoved him in the face. The umpire saw it and has paid a free kick for too high. But yeah, Felgen's certainly putting a lot of attention into Phibbs. And
he doesn't mind a bit of the rough and tumble, Ben. He's niggling into it. Peninsula boy's not happy.
And I think he's coming off with the blood rule now, Felgen, and having plenty to say as he does it as well. And he's been reported, Phibbs. The umpire just getting the book out now. And, he's actually giving him a red card.
Yeah, well, that's right. He should be, I guess, if he's reported, that's what happens.
Phibbs will be leaving the ground. And Felgen's still shouting at him from where he is. But the end result, I guess, Peninsula will have a free kick. And Collins is going to take it. And Phibbs is off the ground. So,
refresh my memory, Joe. How long is a red card? Is it
10 minutes?
10
no.
or 15?
12 playing minutes.
12 no replacement?
That's
12 with a replacement.
No, I don't think.
Must be no replacement.
Actually, no, they can be replaced because of what happened last year with Blues in the preliminary final.
Oh, they changed the rule to that, yeah.
I think so.
Anyway, we'll get that.
Yeah, there's four on the
Ben?
bench. There's 4 on the bench. There's only 4 on the bench for Mazenod, so that'll be right.
Anyway, the ball's made it to the outer wing where Peninsula is going to win themselves a free kick from the marking contest.
Does that mean he can't coach for 12 minutes?
Yeah, how does that work? He resumes his...
I don't know, I'll check.
Remember to do some check for us as the ball goes wide, out of bounds, near the boundary line. It might have been out of bounds on the full. No, the umpire said it was touched. So close to pretty much the boundary. Umpire will throw it in from where the arc meets the boundary, the 45-metre arc here. Kicking against the breeze in this term, Peninsula. They'd love to gather one in as they reel in the footy, but it's been turned over and won by Reid, who just slams along from Mazenod out to the outer wing. Ball near the boundary line, may be happy to see it over. Well, in the end they don't. Peninsula, they just lob it up. Someone's going to have to fly.
They need to get one back here, Peninsula. They don't want to go into the third quarter with too much of a deficit.
So Simon Hall took the relieving mark for Mazenod at left half back, punches it up the line, strong kick, finds a teammate. So John Canis is right, Peninsula desperately need a goal here just to stay in touch as we approach the latter stages of the second term.
See, no one there.
Got it going now, it's Murdoch, handballs inside 45, foot race on now, getting there first is Mazenod, Harbison slips over, terrific pass, knocked on the ground by Mazenod into the hands of Liam Riley, who kicks a goal from 10 metres out.
Very clever.
Great team footy, dive and a knock. Looks like a Mazenod player still on his back though. Has not moved since he made that heavy clash and the knock. So we'll keep an eye on that, but Mazenod go to 5-5-35. They lead by 25 points over Peninsula 1-4-10. Well, 20 and a half minutes, second quarter, brought to you by BLK Sport.
Look, basically the setup of the Peninsula side is not helping. I mean, they really need some extra cover back there. That Mazenod are looking more dangerous forward because the forward line is more open and they just have not got enough numbers back.
So back into the centre of the ground. Mazenod with the quick kick round the corner, and it's going to land fortuitously in the arms of Reid, who thought about poking it out wide short. In the end, goes the other side for another short option and spot up a player. So there are 2 kicks from goal here. Mazenod leading by 25 points. A little hand pass comes on, and then they'll send it inside. 50, no mark taken. Spoiled out of bounds. The umpire will throw it in. So 21 and a half minutes gone for BLK Sport in this second term, which has really been run and won by Mazenod. All their goals coming in this term. As Fisher in front just belts it. The Peninsula goes straight towards the boundary line. What does the umpire say? That's okay. We'll throw it in again. Gained his side around 10 metres. And he'll go at it again. Done most of the ruck work today. This time short. Again, he just taps it in his side's direction, but Mazenod, a little toe poke, doesn't go far. Near the boundary, trying to reel it in. Glenn, he's tackled straight away. Players dive in on the footy and the umpire will come in and ball it up.
Again, if we look into that area, I mean, they're not even man on man. There's just a big space there and no loose man back. It's suicide.
So 25-point lead to Mazenod. Peninsula got the good quick kick away though, and Pays takes the mark. So squares it into the middle of the ground. Had to be pinpoint, and it was. Comes out of Moingard. He gets the left foot kick. It wasn't a great one. Good tackle applied there by Grigg for Peninsula, and they've managed to hold it in. So they kick to full forward. Strong mark. Full back taken by Oldman, and Mazenod are away.
So runs deep across the face of goal, then kicks it long, although he's not going to find the player he intended, and Harbison chops it off for Peninsula and then pokes it inside. 50, a little too much on it for Crowder. What can he do? Not enough, it's out of bounds on the full.
Terrible. Just at half-time in the Premier B Grand Final, St Bede's 5-7-37, Beaumaris a 3-5-23. So a good quarter for the Bedes, St Bede's of Mentone.
So Mazenod will have it deep in defence from that out-of-bounds attempt on goal from Crowder under pressure near the boundary line. They'll just load up to half forward. A big pack of players will form, and the big strong arms of the ruck and Fisher take it for Peninsula. So they'd love to snag one here late in the second. The umpire says play on. You've taken enough time now. He just loads it up to the hot spot, hoping someone can fly. A couple of good runs at it. No one can come down with a footy. And Inglis for Mazenod wins it at the front. A couple of hands here. They could be out, Mazenod, and they are. Near the boundary line. And then a kick. They've got two to raffle it. Here, they're out, Mazenod. They can go again. And they should be able to think their way through it, although the bounce of the ball might not favour St Cotter, and it doesn't. The boundary line beats him, and he waves back towards a teammate and said, I didn't really quite want it like that.
I'd imagine it was his father that was part of their B and A grade sides back in the 90s. St Cotter.
Wearing the number 2 this afternoon for Mazenod, and they're leading by 25 points. They're right half forward, 24 and a half minutes played. Second term action. Peninsula have not kicked a goal in this second quarter. So Mazenod take it. It's Wellsford just bollocking his way through, but he had it for a long time.
Should have been holding the ball. Look, I mean, the thing for Peninsula is not to panic. I mean, it is only 4 goals. And to all the Peninsula under-19 boys that are over in Italy listening to our broadcast, don't fret. Keep at it, boys. Don't go to bed yet.
So belted out of the ruck for Peninsula. Stripped of it, though, was Glenn. Winning a free kick, though, Peninsula. And they try and take an advantage, but umpire says it wasn't there. So the free kick will go to Ash Collins. So he wastes no time. Gets it to Moingard.
Nowhere to go with it.
Handballs to Smurtle. So Smurtle, again, as Johnny said, no one to kick to. And centre half forward, mark taken by Jaden Hill for Mazenod.
So Hill gets the hands off and they'll load up to half forward. It's going to carry the pack, although that was well done by the defender to keep it in front and has to do the work at ground level. Maybe tackled without the footy. It's going the other way. It's going against him. So Reed's won it for Mazenod. 2 kicks from goal. Looks like he wanted to go short initially and then just loads it up to the hot spot, and the running player flew. Oh, he had a good run at it. That was Inglis. Couldn't play, but a shot on goal. And they've got another one, Mazenod. So a quick kick as the ball spilled out from the pack.
Well, it started again from Peninsula having the ball through the middle of the ground, setting it up with nice fast flow on play, but none of their forwards have worked back hard enough to get on the receiving end of the kick, and the kick was just randomly kicked forward into the arms of Mazenod, who got it forward, and again the other way. I don't think the midfield of Peninsula are working hard enough to get back to support their backs, and they're in trouble again here now.
So we'll come back to Joe with that goal kick, but Mazenod get it right to full forward.
Big
I had it Torn Henderson, but we might have to raffle it.
We'll go with Torn Henderson then. So Peninsula have worked it to half back. They go out of sight of the ground. Glenn trying to get it. He gets a free kick for chopping the arms too hard. So goes short to Smurtle. Yeah, he's had a lot of the footy actually. He's been impressive. So defensive side of the wing, out of sight of the ground. They trail by 31 points, Peninsula. This is getting to panic stations. Now he's going to go an interesting kick right across the ground to centre half back. Mark taken by Sherman. So Sherman makes his teammate really work Feldgen. He gets it, but he's got very little to kick to. So he's going to go back to Sherman.
Well, the structure of St Bede's of Mazenod is much greater. The good spread of players across the ground, indecisiveness from Peninsula.
So the big fella Fisher balks and kicks inside 45. Pack of players forms with Mazenod. They've got the numbers and they stream away from the footy. Keeping in front of him there is Makio. He gets it now to Murdoch. So Murdoch with the left foot, lace out pass.
So there's an example of not over-kicking the ball with the wind. I mean, he just set it up in the air and let the wind bring it back, and no problems at all marking it.
So Reece Thomas, who had a long time to think about his last set shot at goal and missed it.
He didn't have an opportunity to play on there, so I think, Kenny, what do you reckon? You'll bring up the two Calicos this time?
I can't see that far.
You've been very quiet, Ken. How are you going?
Oh, struggling.
You're struggling? So directly in front, Reece Thomas. He'll kick from on the paint of 45 with the breeze. Kick on its way, makes no mistake. Rapturous applause from the home fans.
They're wrapping the game up there.
Mazenod go to 7-5-47. They lead by 37 points over Peninsula, 1-4-10. 29 minutes played, second quarter, thanks to Bayford.
Well, again, I mean, good play from Mazenod and moving forward. I mean, they're looking dangerous every time, looking likely to kick a goal every time they're going forward. But the problem for Peninsula is just the forwards. They're getting sucked. I think they're really struggling with the width of the ground and the size of the ground and where to run is their problem. They're getting killed out of the centre. Here we go again.
Yeah, they've got another takeaway sitting inside forward. 50 players will fly down in front. Defender wins the footy, just rolls it on the ground. Banbury has some support. Winning it back, or the little toe poke, a little half smother near the boundary, and a good strong tackle. And out of bounds it goes, out of bounds on the full.
Good tackle.
See, there's no one back in the holes. They're just standing. They've got a loose one back there now. Yeah,
just
Fletcher.
go long. I think that was Welsford. And just through for one behind, got the journey quite easily, but takes them to 7-6-48. Peninsula 1-4-10. Stuck on 1-4-10. They've just scored two behinds for the quarter as we're coming up to 30 minutes gone for Bayford and BLK Sport.
And just repeating, it's St Bede's in front at half time, down 5-7-37 to 3-5-23 at Sandringham.
So big kick in from Peninsula, finds the big fella in Pays, the 350 gamer for Peninsula. He kicks over the top looking for George Fletcher, who just manages to keep it in. He's still at it, and umpire says it went out of bounds. He'll be frustrated though, because good persistent effort by George Fletcher there. He's gained them 15 or so metres. Can they snag a late one just to stay in touch? So boundary throw-in. It's about 75 metres out from goal. Peninsula's half of the ground, right in front of us here in the broadcast position. Good tap down there by Fisher. Works back to Peninsula, and it's Barber. Stephen Barber kicks to centre half forward. No one's able to take it. Foot race on. Leading in the race is Kellerman. Gets there now and kicks it.
Wow.
Well, much needed goal for Peninsula. Kellerman kicks his first. They go to 2-4-16 and just stay in touch. Mazenod 7-6-48. 31 minutes played. Second quarter brought to you by BLK Sport.
I don't know that they're staying in touch. They're there.
But look, they have the win in the next quarter, Ken. If they can get back on level terms at three-quarter time, anything can happen in the last quarter. But look, they got a good takeaway there from that stoppage. And at last, the forward line showed something. It was a kick over the head to a fast-running player who ran into the open goal. It was the number 17, who's
Kellerman.
Yeah, so a nice goal for them. I think just the dimensions of the ground are mucking them around a bit in the way that they want to play. So they need to just play more centrally through the ground.
Well, they've got a free kick from Smurtle held in the middle of the ground. Decides to go out wide. Now they just bring in short, deliberate approach. Mark taken by George Fletcher. He pokes it over the top. So there's still a couple of kicks from goal. Loading up to the hot spot. Wants players to fly. Big bodies in there. Players go to ground. Big man couldn't quite get his foot on it. Very good line across now.
Grigg.
They've kicked it. And it is Grigg. So they've got 2 in 30 seconds.
There you go, and he's come up and said, up to that commentary box and said, you go and chew on your words, Kenny Petrucco. We're back in business, back at Pirate Land. Yes, well, yesterday was the day, National Day of talking like a pirate, and just perhaps they might show the spirit required to get back. But certainly really crucial goals for them to be serious for a moment. They trail by 26 points.
That bloke with a peg leg will never catch me.
So the Peninsula Pirates trying to get the ball out of the middle here. Not sure how they disposed of it in the middle, but they've got it now, and they're inside 45. Open forward line. Can they snag a third one in 3 minutes? So kicks comes to Barber. So Barber puts it to the top of the square. One-on-one contest. No one can mark it.
Surely.
Point guard over the top to Green. Handballs back to Harbison, who kicks it. This is party time late in the second quarter, and Harbison kicks his first, and Peninsula have kicked 3 goals in 3 minutes. They go to 4-4-28. Trial by 20 points, Mazenod 7-6-48, 33 minutes played, second quarter, and this game of football has come alive.
And we could just go back to Ken Petrucco's famous words of 3 minutes ago. Kenny boy, what did you say?
They're gone.
So 3 goals in those 3 minutes.
Someone gave him an oxygen mask, Ken, and they're back. They're right.
That's fantastic. I like it.
They're up and about again and back in the middle. Takeaway. The ruckman trying to do the roving work as well.
Big.
The tap goes in their direction. That's Peninsula's direction. A strong tackle will keep it in the area.
Did pay it?
No.
Just dropped to his knees.
I don't
Then
think
the
they've paid
Mazenod
one
bloke.
ball yet. And so...
Well, let's not get carried away here. It is still 3 goals, 2. Geez, they were a long way back, weren't they?
Certainly was. Makes you think of it now. They'll kick 3 in 3 minutes. They could go inside again, bustling through Barber. Got the hand pass out, looking for the big man in Fisher. He couldn't reel it in. Bullocking work by Riley. Found a teammate who just jams it on the boot, but the defender
This man.
for Peninsula underneath has taken the mark on his chest and has a player out wide. The kick's got a bit too much carry for Harrison. He's going to have to beat 2. Well, he's now got support, and they might keep it in the area. They've done well here, Peninsula, but the siren beats them for half-time. Mazenod 7-6-48, lead Peninsula 4-4-28. So lead by 20 points, even though Peninsula managed to kick the last 3 goals to keep themselves in this C-grade grand final. You're listening to 96.5 Inner FM Footy. So second half about to get underway. The final spectators just clearing the ground. And some pointing by players saying, you get on that bloke, you get on that bloke. Siren about to sound. Chris Venus with the third term.
So third quarter action, 96.5 FM football grand final, Premier C section division underway. Mazenod trying to get the takeaway, but they can't. And Peninsula, a quick kick which was smothered. So Mazenod keeping it in front of him there. Thomas, free kick going to Peninsula. Advantage paid, and then the umpire comes back and says it wasn't an advantage.
Yeah, player on the ground with a knee. He got taken high, but clutching that left knee and looks in a bit of pain about it too.
So it was Mourngard who took off with the footy, hoping to win the advantage. But
it's going to have to come to the bench, this player.
So I think it's George Fletcher for Peninsula. Very proppy, not able to put any weight on that left knee, I think.
And he's sort of heading straight to the bench rather than through the gates. I'm sure the trainers will direct him through the gates in case he can return.
So Peninsula kick it all the way to full forward. Kick really did ride on the breeze, as Ken noted. Mazenod have got it though. They kick it outer side of the ground. Clever play there, knocking it to a teammate in better position. Handball over the top though. Coming through is the big fella Fisher for Peninsula. He knocks it clear, but Mazenod sweep the ball at the back of the pack. Couple of handballs and then left foot kick outer side of the ground to a one-on-one. Strong mark in front was taken by Skirman for Peninsula.
That's the place to be, and they're kicking into the breeze in front.
Goes with the hands back. This will hold in the breeze. Gave Felgen some work to do. Under pressure now, Mazenod are going to have the first shot on goal in the half, flying across the face. It was Riley, Liam Riley, who had the snap, but just bending a little too far to the left and through for one behind. First score of the half is a behind to Mazenod. They go to 7-7-49, leading Peninsula at 4-4-28 on the Club Warehouse scoreboard.
16 minutes into the third quarter down at Sandy. It's Mentone Tigers, St Bees, 6-8-44. Bo Morris, 6-8-44.
So Kellerman kicks out to Sherman. It's a handball to Smurtle. So he's been good this afternoon. Goes on the right foot on this occasion from half back to half forward. 2-on-1 situation. Numbers with Mazenod. Peninsula do well though. They hold it in, but they just let it slip now. Couple of handballs and ping though for holding the footy. Mazenod. So free kick going to Peninsula. Sam Glenn will take it. So he's got it between wing and half forward, outer side of the ground. Peninsula trial by 21 points. He elects to go backwards. Finds a teammate who goes very short, finds Moingard. He swings onto the left, kicks it right to the top of the square. And mark taken by Peninsula.
Important goal, this one.
You've written them off, Ken. Don't start.
No, great. They've still got to do it. The first goal in this situation gives them a chance.
Well, and importantly, 3 minutes into the quarter.
So, kick on its way and makes no mistake. Goal to Peninsula, and they kick their 5th for the afternoon. We'll just wait and see who it is.
Southam, I think it was.
Southam, okay. Thank you very much, Joe. So, Peninsula go to 5-4-34. They close the margin to just 15 points. Mazenod 7-7-49. 3.5 minutes played. Third quarter brought to you by William Buck. That score on the Club Warehouse scoreboard.
Yeah, so importantly, an early goal with the win just relieves the pressure of taking advantage of the win and gets the scoreboard ticking over. And at Elston Week, with the win, you have got to do that. And it was a smart kick in. I was a little bit worried it was another one of those wild kicks in, but it found its mark and a Peninsula player on his own.
And they've got the ball. They've tried and burst through the middle. You should have been for holding. Umpire said no. Play on. Riley gets the hands, pokes it over the top. And they can get a little scrubby kick, but it's going to be chopped
Coggers.
off. Ended up in the
Coggers has got it.
Coughlin for Peninsula. Good
Kick.
low
That's a good
pass. Found his teammate on the chest and Moingard. So 2 kicks from goal with the breeze. They thought it through last time. He
Don't go into the
waves
pocket.
his arm saying, I want someone to lead.
They're all just standing
Nothing
in that
he
space.
likes. And the defenders punch it.
So there was
Metres out of
just
bounds.
no movement. There was just a wall of players. They all ran back into that same space down the line. There was no look back in lateral and try to invent something. I mean, if they had got it back into the centre channel from out here wide, there was just a straight run into goal. And bombing it from 45 is easy with this win.
So
free
ball
kick, sure.
dispute at ground level. Umpire says no. Play on. Still bumbling around inside 45 arc for Peninsula. 5 minutes gone in this third term, brought to you by William Buck. Peninsula with a goal on the board.
So, ball's thrown up, half forward. Quick kick out of the pack going to Mazenod. Only as far though as Peninsula. Oh, chopped off. Great interception there by McKeough. Gets a handball on the Murdoch. Murdoch shot the gate, crosses 45, has one bound. Gallant chase by Peninsula, but Murdoch kicks his third goal. The man got out at the back, and no one was between him and the goals, and he ran 50 metres to kick his third goal for the afternoon. Mazenod, they go to 8-7-55, lead Peninsula 5-4-34, 21-point lead, almost 6 minutes played in the third quarter thanks to William Buck.
Just an overhandling error there in the middle of the ground. They were trying to get some expansiveness in their play with a handball to a running player coming from behind, and good play in there. I'm not sure who the Mazenod player was. He got a hand to it. Yeah, Inglis was. He just pushed the ball up into the air, and then from there it dropped into the hands of a teammate. And a good kick forward to a running player who just had his couple of metres on the Peninsula players and ran into the goal.
So Peninsula kicked one early. Mazenod have got it straight back, and from the middle though, strong
well
tackling to the ground.
That's 21 again.
Fletcher. James Fletcher was wrapped up.
Inglis. Geez, good player, Inglis.
Yes, can play.
They're out there, but he held them up, so umpire will ball it up outer side of the ground. Elston Park. Taps one or Inglis again, reeling it in. But Peninsula able to win the footy. We'll kick it up to half forward. Perhaps a little bit of holding. The big man trying to do the shepherding. Well, in the end does the tackling. That was well done. Kept it in the area. And Mazenod will just poke it up wide. This could come straight back in though, as the mark's been taken by James Fletcher. So a couple of kicks from goal. They've Last couple of times they've been here, they've looked to think through it. In the end, he just goes long, might have too much carry over the back, and
again,
a couple of bounces out of bounds.
Unimaginative forward entry, kick in, just going there, kicking in hope, and you've just got to do better than it, especially over to that side of the ground. It's easy to defend. I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but it's
not
time.
Not really.
Ken.
He's still here. He's still here, Ken. He's got some life in him.
So boundary throw in. One by
big numbers, clearance.
Yeah, one by Fisher from Peninsula, but Mazenod take it. They move the ball across the outer side of the ground. Not completing the mark though was Sin Cotter.
Well
so
played.
Quick kick out of the pack goes to Stefan Barber. So Peninsula still with a chance here. Turn on its is Crowder rather, and he kicks it behind though. So Peninsula go to 5-5-35, margin to 20 points. Mazenod 8-7-55. That's on the William Buck scoreboard and playing for Club Warehouse in this third quarter.
And around the grounds again for Sky Home at Dandenong. It's 23 minutes gone. Bowie are 8-12-60. Sabine stationary on 6-8-44.
So Hall goes long out of sight the ground. Surprise, surprise. Boundary line could beat them, although trying to keep it in and play on was James Fletcher. Couldn't quite, and the umpire will come in.
You all tipped Bowie, didn't you? In the little.
I think I did. It's not over, Ken. They've got the win in the last quarter, but as we know, patterns of games can change in the last quarter when it's all or nothing.
So just reeling the footy in here. He could be in trouble. I think he's going to be gone, is Gentile, and the umpires come in and directed that way. So Peninsula will go, well, I was going to say
terrible,
50,
terrible.
They've gone out of bounds with a full.
I mean, they set it up. They started bringing it around with that handball. That was good play. It needed another kick in the middle of the ground and come around the arc and get it in. And that's just a wasted opportunity because that was a really open side there in front of the scoreboard.
How's the timing for Phibbs?
He's on.
He's on.
Yeah.
So big fly from the back, and Mark has been tased.
Just spent
to
the last
Fisher.
part of the second quarter coaching. Had a break, got a fresh player out of it.
So Peninsula go inboard. Barber not able to pick it up. This is a hot footy. They do well though. Work it there towards Banbury. He's not able to get it. Mazenod flick it out the back, but with a little too much steam. Keeping his feet very well there with Southam. Gets it inboard to Glenn. Glenn squares the ball. Looking for the hot spot. No one able to take it. Peninsula doing well though. They're keeping their feet. On that occasion it was Moingard. Got a handball away but couldn't get there. And Mazenod come away with it. No, they don't. Oh, they almost got pink for holding the footy.
Well, it was a knocked up handball. It was an illegal handball.
So Coughlin's got it.
In the middle there.
Yeah, he's got a couple short.
Yeah, so good spearing pass to Moingard. So this looks like a better entry into, and comes here to Collins. Collins kick on its way, one behind. So Peninsula looks good there in that passage of play. They go to 5-6-36, trail by 19 points. Mazenod 8-7-55, 10.5 minutes played this quarter thanks to William Buck, the scoreboard thanks to Club Warehouse.
So Hall to bring the footy in. Go to the outer side of the ground has pretty much done all this quarter, but it's going to come straight back in as it's only Peninsula. The ball smothered on the kick in and out of bounds. Yes, it rolls. So could have done a little bit better there, a little bit more time. But still got the ball in the area. Umpire.
It's your favourite boundary umpire there, John?
50 metres
round
from
working
goal.
a little, yeah, there she goes. And a magnificent throw in again.
And tap comes down, Fisher in front. Players diving on the footy at ground level, still loose, trying to bustle his way through is Fletcher. James Fletcher couldn't quite. And the umpire will come in and ball it up.
Not a bad crowd here today, I think.
No,
good crowd, beautiful sunny day.
Good.
See, we lose a perspective on just how many people are in the grandstand in front of it we can't see, but I think...
Half forward for Peninsula, they're going to go inside, 50. The defender reached up and reeled it in. That was Xavier Paddy from Mazenod.
So Mazenod kick from the back pocket to half back, but it's a strong mark taken by Pomeroy for Peninsula. So they're going to send it back inside 45. They put it up. It's a high kick, be a tough one to mark, but Mazenod are up to the challenge, and it's the skipper and the coach, Ben Phibbs, has marked. So he goes short, across the ground. Oh, lazy kick there, I dare say. Missed its target, goes out of bounds. Boundary throw, and Peninsula at left half forward. So 12 minutes played in this third quarter. It's 55 Mazenod, 36 Peninsula.
27 minutes, just on 28 minutes in the third quarter. St Bede's 6-9, 45, Bowie 8-12, 60.
So those round the ground scores thanks to Sky Home man Dandenong. Collins puts his head over the footy for Peninsula. He's wrapped up. Umpire says it was held to him. We'll have a ball up. Played 12.5 minutes here in the Premier C Sports Grand Final at Sports Cover Arena at Elstonwick Park, and it's a 19-point lead to Mazenod.
So Mazenod get the quick clearing kick to no one in particular. And Peninsula have the numbers if they can work through it here, although good tackling keeps it in the area. They've still got the footy though, or no, now they don't. Probably should have been holding the ball. Mazenod have won the footy anyway. And the kick, wobbly off the boot, may have been going for touch anyway. And I think that's the way. Oh no, some slippery work by Peninsula. They've won the footy, back inside, and they can come across the middle. Have a loose man in Crowder, who can take his time, a few steps, goes out wide. They continue to run and move the footy through Felgen, who just loads it up.
Now that is the loose man in the back line. I watched him. He went back nice and deep, and he kicked it straight to him. His handball had his teammate kick it straight out of bounds on the full on the far side.
Lucky break, Peninsula.
But it was like a magnet of the guy kicking in from outside 50 to their loose man who took the mark. It's just dumb.
So Peninsula, they're squaring inboard now. They're listening to you, John Cannis. Kellerman slides and didn't drop the mark, though. He's on hands and knees now. So handball out there to Glenn, who handballs to a teammate. Left half back, puts it inboard. Oh, almost a diving mark there, but not quite. Mazenod have got the numbers at ground level. They're under pressure, though. They kick, and a strong mark taken by Smirtle.
That guy's either done something or he's got cramp. 24 for Mazenod is coming off. I think it's just cramp. But
Kenner.
Goodness me, there's a long way to go to be getting cramp. we might be getting some rain as well.
So Smirtle, he's going to kick from right on 45. 45-degree angle. It's a bit of a finger-breaking punt. And just the one behind. So his first score for the afternoon, Peninsula. So they're peppering the scoreboard, but just with behinds at the moment. 5-7-37. They trail by 3 goals. Mazenod 8-7-55. 14.5 minutes played.
4 shots this quarter for just 1 goal.
Still only 3 goals, Ken. They're there at three-quarter time. There and about. It's anyone's game.
Ball will go wide again out of sight of the ground. All the players had already congregated there, knowing it was going in that direction. It's going to come back inside for Peninsula. A shot on goal.
No, missed.
Not quite. And the umpires.
He said out of bounds, didn't he?
Yes, he did. So Mazenod win the footy. This kick, I was going to say, might have too much carry in it, but it doesn't. Inglis is able to reel it in for Mazenod and will probably come along. Tough one to mark in front, does well Hill, but the spoil came over the top. He does the tackling at ground level, holding in the footy, and the umpire will come in and ball it up.
So travelled 15 minutes in this third quarter. It's tight and tough in the Premier C Grand Final here at Sports Cover Arena in Elstonwick Park. Breeze of perhaps 2 to 3 goals going to the scoreboard end.
I think it's freshened up a bit.
Do you think it's a little stronger, Kemachega? We'll take a gauge from you as we go through this fourth quarter. Mazenod work the ball, just attacking side of the wing. Goes out of bounds right in front of us here.
Well, the reality is they've 15 minutes into the quarter. They've still got time. I mean, they came with a bang at the end of the last quarter, but they do need to start scoring and try to get themselves a bit of a lead at three-quarter time.
So comes a Moingard.
Mazenod I'm talking about.
He got tackled, fell to Mazenod. They kicked to half forward, juggling the grab was Kieran McKeon, but goes out of bounds.
Just for anyone that's just started listening, I mean, the game has gone that Peninsula had the wind in the first quarter. They kicked 1 goal, 3 to a behind. Mazenod went right out in front and kicked 5 goals, unanswered goals, and then Peninsula gone and kicked 3 late goals in the second quarter, and they're now trailing by 3 goals.
So Harrison goes through the middle of the ground. Grigg picks up the footy here, goes with a right foot kick. It's a good.
He's fallen over.
He's just fallen over there, and that was Harbison, and he had that shot for all money. It was a beautiful kick, and he just had to run onto it, but he lost his footing, hit the turf, and the ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in left forward pocket.
This guy doesn't look coming off for Mazenod. It's not looking to crash hot either.
So
number 6.
Skipper, Rob Mann.
The big punch goes in Mazenod's way. They look for the hand pass out. It's put a smother on. Then that could be too high. It is. So the free kick is going Peninsula's way. It is a chance for Southam. He's already got one in this term, one for the game. So with the wind, man on the mark, it'd be 40 from goal. So he's got a decent leg with a bit of breeze. He should be able to get the distance. 45-degree angle.
Got a magnificent leg.
To cut the margin.
Didn't know you were that way inclined.
We'll see how he goes. Nice off the boot. He slotted
beautiful kick. That was a beautiful kick, Ken. You've called it.
So Southam has his second, and Peninsula have their sixth. They go to 6-7-43, trailing Mazenod 8-7-55. And the Club Warehouse scoreboard, we're ticking up to 18 minutes in the third term, brought to you by William Buck.
I was just imitating my favourite caller.
Who was that? No, it was a lovely kick. He gave it a lovely little double kick at the end of it.
He didn't have a beautiful leg. It was a delicious player.
Oh, Bruce. No, it was a lovely kick at goal. And got back to 2 goals now. And must remember they finished on pretty strongly last week, Peninsula.
So they get it going their way. Moingard puts his head over the footy. Nudged out of it, though, by Ben Phipps for Mazenod. They hold it in. And umpire calls for it.
And the big man in the middle, I think, copped one in the guts or the side, I think. Fisher.
He's got a heart as big as the club itself. But he didn't go.
Might's got a nice knee or something in there, you think?
Yeah,
perhaps a couple of minutes to shake it off.
Yeah, maybe
because he should be in the play.
Corky, yeah, no, he's sort of right near the ball, but
can't stand up straight. One of those ones.
Yeah.
Oh, God, get on with it.
So they'll have a ball up. So he doesn't do the ruck work. Moingard does well, though. Gets a little handball. Quick kick out of the pack. Goes for Peninsula, who's able to run onto it. One-on-one situation there. Good tackle applied by Southern. Hunting in packs. Glenn applies a very good tackle. Stolen by Stu Grigg. But he's caught with the footy, and umpire says holding the footy.
Unlucky.
It was unlucky, given the other ones weren't paid. That other guy put his head down and went in. At 3/4 time, St Bede's 6-9-45. Bo Morris 9-14-68.
So Mazenod will just bring it along the wing in front of us. Players will fly to, good run at it. Couldn't quite bring it down. Welsford trying to bustle through. That's Steve Welsford. He's dived on. And the umpire will come in for the stoppage.
We should have secured that, Gus Paddy, that mark.
Good run and good line, just couldn't quite hold it in. Is doing the ruck work now. Is Marshall for Peninsula. Free kick for too high. And you're right, Ken. And it's going in Mazenod's way to Liam Welsford. So in front of our commentary position here at the grandstand at Elstonwick Park Sports Cover Arena. 2 goals the margin. Mazenod have the lead. 20 minutes into the third term, brought to you by William Buck. And Welsford for Mazenod. Just keeps it along the wing near the boundary. The player in front, that's a mark taken by Hall. Either one. Sherman, sorry. So has someone play it very short here if he wants him? Does. So Felgen.
That's the one. That's the better one.
He goes back.
No one running hard into that next space for him. That's the problem.
So Felgen gets the hand pass back. He could go over the top more. Didn't quite have the leg. They're in trouble here. Mazenod have won the footy. They're out. This is going to be another one. It might just bounce all the way or a bit of help. No, it's gone all the way.
See, just had the right idea kicking it back, but there was no one working hard for that second kick. I mean, credit to Ben Phibbs, who stood in the middle of that ground and guarded that space. And it was his presence there that actually caused them to turn around and put that kick in that was not going to be secured and turn the ball over. So that is a massive blow for Mazenod in the scheme of the game. Just answered that goal back and gets them back to that 3-goal buffer.
Was that number 25 that kicked that?
Oh, that was my guess, Ken.
Torn Henderson, I think it was. So I've got 2 now for him this afternoon. Joe, we gave him 1 earlier. Yep. So in the middle, 3-goal lead to Mazenod. Their margin has been restored. No one's able to get it in the middle. We'll have a secondary ball up. So 9-7 plays 6-7. 22.5 minutes travelled. Thanks to William Buck this third quarter. Mazenod kick inside 50. No one's able to take it. Numbers back there with Peninsula. They kick to the broadcast side of the ground. And Glenn swings onto the right boot.
Should have gone for it, that number 1.
Yeah, he didn't on that occasion.
Could be all right.
Coughlin gets it over the top. Joe the Goose, and it's a goal to Harrison, I think.
So good quick answer. Well, good effort there. Grigg getting the ball. Stu Grigg had the ball, got it through to his teammates. I thought the number 1 there in Sam Glenn could have cut across and marked it, but look, it went through advantageously anyway. And a handball over the top saw Will Crowder, number 66, run into the open goal and get that one back.
Got the one straight back. Back in the middle, Marshall jumped early. They've won the footy off the back peninsula, looking for the hands. They go that way and then kick it out wide. Well thought through. Playing on with the footy is Fletcher. Needs to get an around opponent. Does. Can he spot up a target here? Almost trying to reel it in at the bootlaces was Barber. Couldn't quite. And then couldn't get the work done. Mazenod at ground level. Have won the footy. Hand pass off to Inglis. He can't pick it up. So still in dispute. Plenty of players after it. Diving in to reel it in. Although it pops out, Mazenod will be going forward. So it's a 2-on-1. Peninsula have the numbers, although doing very well all by himself down there. Trying to reel it in. Yeah, he's done well.
Big fella, is he?
Might have been Oldman. McKeon, is it?
Yep. 22.
No.
20.
Oh, 27.
Yeah.
Almost 22.
Chris had it there. So right in front of goal, this will be a ball up, tapped down to a dangerous area. Murdoch has it smothered. It goes backwards. Mazenod still with the footy. I think it's Wellsford. Bends around. Last line defence. Peninsula take the mark.
Pressure.
So great goal-saving mark there by Collins. Goes straight up the middle of the ground. Mark taken by Schumann. He swings to the outer side of the ground. And mark taken by Fletcher, who kicks up the wing. Beautiful movement of the footy here by Peninsula. Some of the best we've seen this afternoon. They go up and find Moingrad. So he's at left half forward. Goes to the left foot, puts it to the top of the square. Almost a strong mark there by Southam, but knocked away from him. Goes out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in left forward pocket. 2-goal lead to Mazenod. 9-7 plays 7-7. .24.5 minutes played. Ball thrown in. Grigg puts it to the top of the square. Ball bouncing across the face of goal. Not going to go over the boundary line, and Mazenod come away with it, and Mark taken at half back by Hill.
Needs to be a good kick as his teammates outnumbered, but the bouncers helped McKee, and he just goes on. And the numbers again with Peninsula. They've got 2 here. And the bounce, which way is he going to bounce? Over his teammates' head. They've still got the numbers. They need to work this through a bit better. Peninsula, they didn't. The ball just didn't go their way, and reeling it in Hill.
Sides.
Peninsula eventually pick up the footy, go long. Mark, no, not quite. Trying to reel it in with Southam, couldn't. At ground level, trying to pick it up. Crowder, Mazenod with a quick kick, and it's going to be
I'll tell you what,
by Peninsula.
Mazenod are looking really tired. Really tired. There are a lot of blokes that are struggling.
Well, they've still got a lot of work to do as the ball goes in through Grigg. He's going to have to chase, though, as Inglis has won it. Can he think it through? Poking it up to Murdoch. Not quite. The umpires, yes, paid a free kick for a chop. He's cramping up to Murdoch. It gives him a little bit of time to get back. So too far from goal for Murdoch. He's already got 3 for the day, being one of their better players. He might just load up. No one's leading, so he doesn't really have many options. The umpire says you got to play on, looking for Wellsford. Got rid of his opponent. What can he do? Steve Wellsford just wheels around. Not quite, just off line to the left.
If that wasn't a push in the back after that bloke that had the free kick, got rid of it, I'll go, hey, you pushed him into the ground anyway.
Often when they kick it, though, and then get pushed in the back, the
umpires
don't call it. Yeah, it's still a push in the back.
But it did affect the kick, so it was worth paying, I think.
So Peninsula waste no time, going straight up the middle of the ground. Not quite able to take the mark was Crowder. Mazenod now have it. Wellsford handballs to Mann. He goes backwards, looking for eyes on. He's got a problem though. Great tackle by Stu Glenn. Umpire says held to him. Very fortunate, I dare say.
Very lucky there.
So great pressure by Peninsula. So they trail by 13 points. Flying high was Marshall.
Paid the Shepherd.
on that. That's the other ruck who's just running into to leap up
he
on.
Just stood there because he knew that he got in and under the space early and protected it. So I think it wasn't a bad decision.
So handballs to Harrison. Harrison for Peninsula puts it to the top of the square. Punched away from Southam. It was a good punch. Ball in dispute at half-back. Yeah, they just didn't quite on that occasion put their body in. Good pressure here, now. And Fletcher gets up. Quick kick around the corner for Peninsula. Back inside 45. Collins not able to take it. At ground level though is Stewie Glenn. Handballs it back to Fletcher. Fletcher goes. Handballs to a teammate there in Glenn. Glenn puts it to the left forward pocket. No one able to take it. Mazenod pretty happy to see it over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in left forward pocket. Mazenod lead by 13 points. Played almost 28 minutes. Third quarter.
They have not been able to take a mark in their forward line all day. Like a contested mark.
So the kick, just a little wobbler. Who's going to pick it up? Or he's tackled out the footy. That's what the fans wanted. Umpire said no. And he'll come in and ball it up just at the top of the square.
Well, quickly 1 minute into the last quarter, St Bede's have opened up with the first goal. They're 7-9-51, Bowie at 9-14-68.
So Mazenod from the takeaway, get the clearing kick, although it could come back inside. Murdoch picks up the footy, tackled straight away. Bustling through Coughlin, and in the end the umpire will come in and ball it up, but Mazenod
every Mazenod player back there, only 4 players back here were all Peninsula guys.
On the arc, Marshall has a run at it, didn't quite get a hand to it, tackle.
So they won't be looking to get it out. That's for sure, and if they do, it'll come out to this boundary, but they're almost better off standing off them and not letting them tackle and let them get like a harassed kick out.
So tap comes down, lots of players, lots of players
coming to the belt again.
No chance.
I mean, it's hard to get control over so many blokes in that situation, but ideally, that's what you'd want.
So still a 13-point lead. Can Peninsula sneak a late one here just to really keep them? Pressure on. Good tackle though. Diving through. Barber has got it. He's wrapped up. Player says, give it to me.
I mean, it's a critical couple of minutes of play with Peninsula trailing by 2 goals, 1 with 29 and a half minutes in the third quarter. Last go with the wind.
So ball thrown up. No one get it. Mazenod work it out to a player who gets a kick under plenty of pressure. It's a high up and under. Big contest this one. Mazenod keep the ball in front of them in Jaden Hill. Not able to get it all wrapped up. No.
Keep the ball rolling, Peninsula. That's it. Better get
and Mazenod have got it going in their direction. Quick handball to Gentile. He gets a handball to a teammate, and there's a man on with a fair bit of space. And it's Kovac. So man on the mark on the 45.
Did run hard then on the rebound out. A lot of Mazenod players.
So kicks into the breeze. Not confident of making the trip. Kick. Not a great one. And numbers with Peninsula in the back pocket. So they'll lick to go for one final attack.
So they take the mark at half back, out of sight of the ground.
Did well to shut them down then, the players downfield of Mazenod. They had some loose players and the ball wasn't moved out quickly enough, so they're going on the opposite side of the ground.
Yeah, they decide to go backwards through Pomeroy, who'll now just load up.
3 on 1.
Yeah,
3 on 1.
Too much. And
but
Mazenod.
Look, again, great covering by Mazenod. They covered them on the far side. They covered them then. They're working hard to get numbers across to give themselves every chance. And so...
Sincotto's got the footy for Mazenod. Just in front of our commentary position, took the mark, goes short to Welsford, Liam Welsford.
Again, controlling the ball.
31 minutes ticked over for William Buck in this third quarter.
Don't need to score, Mazenod. They're in a good place coming into three-quarter time.
Riley took the mark from the short kick, now loads up inside 50. Marshall should have done better there. Inglis tackle out the footy. Umpire says no. They've slowed the whistles a little bit in this third quarter.
Fletcher would have run with it here. Not kick it, not filk it.
Well, he's got someone chasing him, but in the end he has a bounce on the left. Siren sounds.
So great close to the quarter there from Mazenod, I must say.
Three-quarter time, Mazenod 9-8-62. Lead Peninsula 7-7-49. The Premier C Grand Final on 96.5 in your FM footy.
Back tomorrow, and 4 of them are for Old Zabarians. So let's get underway here in fourth and final quarter. Premier C section grand final. It's a 13-point lead to Mazenod. Peninsula, though, take it out of the middle.
Here we go.
Quick kick
Paid
out of
it,
the
he's paid it too.
Pays. And we've got a free kick going to Peninsula.
Yep.
Into Stuart Glenn.
Well,
thought about the umpire.
You might have preferred the ball that was tumbling towards the goal there. They had two guys in that. That's could be, I mean, it's straight in front. It's 40 metres. You'll kick from 44, 43 metres. But
so Crowder, actually. So Mazenod have kicked 7 goals in 1 quarter with the Breeze and only 2 goals in 2 quarters against the Breeze.
It's going to take a good kick from
Peninsula managed 3 goals into the Breeze in the 2nd quarter.
For the sake of the neutrals, though, it'd be good if he slotted it.
So this to reduce the margin to single figures. He's given it every bit he's got, but he's just in straining for the extra distance against the Breeze. Misses to the far side.
Need to lock it in here, Peninsula.
So 2 goals the margin now in the BLK Sports scoreboard. And wheels in.
Oh, it's going to get over the back there. Not careful.
The little hand pass, yes, going to get it back. So they're going to go inside 50, get a low trajectory kick over the back. Which way will it bounce? The defenders are there. Hall,
almost
hand pass smothered. Tackle strong to the deck. Fans loved it down there, the Peninsula fans. Kept the ball in the area and there'll be a ball up.
Well, the umpire did the wrong thing. He had no chance to get rid of it. But from a Peninsula point of view, a really good, strong tackle. You know, it was a tackle of intent.
Showed some force. Tap comes down. The Bruckman's picked it up and he's kicked it.
Well, all you young Peninsula Pirates that abandoned ship early in the season to go over to Italy, stay awake, you're coming back.
So Pays has his first, Peninsula's 8th. They now trail by just that solitary goal. Only 2 minutes ticked over for sports cover in the last quarter. Plenty of time. The game's alive.
Indeed. Actually, hang on. They've taken 3 goals off Bo Morris.
Goodness gracious me. What's that score around the ground thanks to Sky High Man Dandenong?
At the 15-minute mark, St Bede's a 9-9-63, and Bo Morris seemed to have been penalised. They're 12-16-88.
Someone hit the budget, the button three times too many, dare I say. John Caddis.
Well, I thought they got those goals pretty quickly.
So we've got a secondary ball up in the middle of the ground. Peninsula have got it going their way, but sweeping the back of the pack is Liam Riley. Does well for Mazenod. Kicks to right half forward, plenty of space. It's in front of the big fella in Thomas, but going to go out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in left half forward for Mazenod.
Oh, don't we love being at a grand final where there's a point the difference?
Goal
the difference, I mean, yeah. Kick, I was going to say a kick.
Yeah. Big, tough last quarter. So knock there. Collins gives it up though. Mazenod kick around the corner by Francis Reid, and he's just missed.
Fans liked it early.
So 1 behind. Mazenod now go to 9-9-63, leading Peninsula 8-8-56. 3.5 minutes played. Fourth quarter, watch you by Sports Cover.
So Kellerman with the kick-in duties. Just going to go straight up the middle. I haven't seen this often from that end.
And back to Pays.
He's sort of got one arm held, still gets rid of it. The kick comes out wide, but it's marked by Riley for Mazenod. And there's a couple waving their arms saying, kick it to me. He's taking his time, though. And as the ball goes inside and he's spotted up a target. And I think it's Kovac. We'll see as he turns around.
Well, they made a mess of that
Thomas.
Peninsula in the middle of the ground there. Pays' kick out was an errant kick. I mean, it really should have been hands back. There were enough of them there to move it away and actually move it away through the central corridor. But anyway, it's resulted in Mazenod having a shot on goal. And this guy's been a warrior for them today, Thomas.
So from the paint, starts at left, I guess hoping for the breeze. Stays left though and just through for the one behind, extending their margin to 7 points. They go to 9-10-64, leading Peninsula 8-8-56 on the BLK Sports scoreboard. 4.5 minutes in for sports cover.
Tough kicking out in front of the Mazenod crowd. But they go right up the middle of the ground looking for Pays. But geez, that was a strong mark taken for Mazenod by Gus Paddy. So he goes short, looking for a leading player. Goes over his head and going to go out of bounds. Yes, it does now. So right forward pocket Mazenod in attack. They lead 9-10-64 by 8 points over Peninsula, 8-8-56. 5 minutes played in this fourth and final quarter. Score on the BLK scoreboard. Thrown in. The short throw in. Ruckman didn't quite get there.
Oh, gee whiz, could have played that.
Could have been holding the ball. Up and under, only goes a couple of metres from Mazenod. Still inside there, 45 in attack. Flying through a Peninsula.
Surely that's a free kick.
Yeah, very.
Swallowed their whistles, umpires.
Yeah, that's
put
terrible.
The whistle away, and Thomas has taken the mark for Mazenod.
I mean, the guy was going to the middle of the ground, knocking it on, and just got tackled down and didn't have the ball anywhere near it.
Frustrating thing is you feel like that would have been a free kick in the first quarter, don't you? If it hadn't been so tight.
I agree with you, Chris.
These guys have not been great, it must be said today.
So Thomas, 35 metres out, directly in front, kick on its way. You know by the roar of the fans from Mazenod behind the goals. It's all clear. They go to 10-10-70, 14-point lead over Peninsula, 8-8-56. 6 minutes played, fourth and final quarter, brought to you by Sports Cover.
We'll just check the around the grounds to see if they've taken any more goals off Bo Morris. Well, they've credited them with another goal. So it's 13-16, 94 to 9-9-63 at the 17-minute mark. So it is looking like it's a Bowie win there.
So back in the middle of the ground. Margin out to 14 points. The ruckman tapping it to himself, trying to win the footy again. Ball comes out to the V on the wing here, and it's going to be kicked back inside, loading up just high. Inglis underneath it. Defender does pretty well in the end. No, the kick comes off from the forward, but just the one behind, so extending it out to 15, but having a good few minutes here, Mazenod. 10-11-71 they are. Peninsula 8-8-56.
So Peninsula just struggling to bring the ball out now. This is their third kicking they've had to do, and they haven't been able to clear the defensive half of the ground. Again, on this occasion, Phibbs picks it up for Mazenod, high, up and under. Going to go out of bounds on the full, though. So
he did have a ping then.
That was, I think, what you'd call a flying shot at goal. A little ambitious. So they've rolled the dice here. Peninsula, they go across the ground. Marked by the big fella in Pays. He's got it at right half back. Got himself into a bit of trouble. Had to kick on the left. Flying was Harrison. Not able to take it. All wrapped up was Inglis. And umpire says, give it to me. So between wing and half forward for Peninsula. They lead. They trail 56, Mazenod 71. Umpire throws at the ball. Glenn having a pinch hit in the ruck. Was outpointed by his Mazenod opponent. On that occasion it was Rob Mann. He kicks to half forward, but strong mark taken by Brad Sherman. He's been terrific this afternoon.
Thomas has been good, so I think
Peninsula.
it's an easy play to outmark.
25 metre as well. Or downfield, I'm not sure. Either way. Peninsula have the footy. Half back, out of sight of the ground. The umpire saying, get on with it now. No, there's whistles left, right and centre. I think they're saying it's got to come back to someone else to kick the footy, or you've got to kick over the mark from where the 25 was. So after all of that, eventually we'll get a kick off half back. It is Sherman who goes back even further.
Oh, no, don't go back there.
Oh, the danger.
No.
A hurried kick as he was tackled as he kicked it. Might come off. Which way is it going to bounce?
Go for the switch.
to
You've got
roll
to
in
keep
for the
going
footy.
with the direction that you switch it to.
Trying to bullock his way through. Ball spills free and holding the footy. So Mazenod have won it. They'll come through the middle through Riley. Takes the mark just in front of the circles. Lots of players inside forward 50. Goes long, the defender. Well spoiled. Needs to spot up a target. He has a long one.
If he gets
he
there,
can get
if he
the
gets
carry,
over.
not quite. Well, the umpire says play on. Mark wasn't quite reeled in by Gus Paddy, and this one is out of bounds on the full, so Peninsula are going to get it back just in front of the Mazenod coaching panel.
They were out then too if that ball had carried over Gus Paddy's head, but not to be, and Gus almost marked it quite.
So Ben Southam being told to kick back over the mark. So he's got it left half back for the Pirates. He goes short and finds Will Crowder. He's kicked 1 goal, 2 this afternoon, been dangerous up forward. So kicks from defensive to attacking side of the wing. Open forward line here if they can get it going their way. Huge tackle. Could have been too high. Umpire said no. Big tackle by Rob Mann from skipper of Mazenod on his
great tackle.
Opposing number, Stu Glenn.
Lay down. You thought that?
Yeah.
It did certainly look like that way. Big tap. Stu Glenn has it in front of him. Not able to get it. Big pack of players forms and ball now goes out of bounds. So left half forward now. The Pirates have worked the ball. They trail 56 to Mazenod 71. Almost 11 minutes played in this fourth and final quarter. That's on the BLK scoreboard. Boundary throw in. Pays. Tries to take it. Falls to Mazenod though. They kick to half forward. Very open forward line. Leading in the race is Peninsula. Good pick up there by Pomeroy. Oh, not a great effort though. No. Mazenod have got it here. Falls to Sincotta, who kicks a goal. Oh, that's a big turnover, and that really hurts the Pirates. Mazenod go to 11-11-77, lead Peninsula 8-8-56, and 11.5 minutes played. Fourth quarter, brought to you by Sports Cover.
Yeah, well, they're just
wrong option with that hand pass.
Yeah, it was. They've made some bad choices today in the way they've gone about it. Just haven't sort of had the nerve to carry things off sometimes, and full credit to Mazenod and Sincotta there for taking advantage of it and kicking a nice goal in front of the adoring fans on the hill in front of the scoreboard.
So the lead out to 22 points. Peninsula win the footy, tackled straight away. Umpire will come in and ball it up. So 12 minutes ticked over for Sports Cover in this last term.
4 goals the difference at Sandringham at the 25-minute mark.
Almost 4 goals a difference here at Sports Cover Arena. Peninsula with some work to do. They have won the footy in front of our commentary position. It'll be Grigg who sets it up to half forward. No mark taken over the back. Mazenod with the numbers. The clearing kick is just a wobbler, although might end up okay. As is found Sincotta, who'll bend it back inside. The umpire says play on. And moving the footy along with Banbury, although it's been chopped off. Another one here, it could all be over. Poked over the top man, the goal square unopposed, he's going to mark it.
Now, I watched Ben Phibbs. Ben Phibbs was the one that kicked that rambling ball out across the ground, and he started jogging. It's a goal.
Murdoch has kicked his 4th.
So Ben Phibbs did the kick out wide there to the wing, gathered by Peninsula, centering kick across the ground. And I watched Ben Phibbs jog through the middle of the ground, and he read the play. And then when he saw the kick was in the air, he took off, took the mark and intercepted it, and handballed it to a mate. And of course the Peninsula boys were nowhere to be seen, just by way of the fact that Ben Phibbs had read it so well on the way through. So
was it Murdoch who kicked that?
Yes.
Yep, 4 goals now for Jacob Murdoch. It's been sensational this afternoon. And Mazenod's largest lead for quite some time. They lead 83-56. Peninsula, Glenn, he's wrapped up in a big tackle. And no one's able to take it from the middle. And umpire calls for a secondary ball up. So fourth quarter brought to you by Sports Cover. Played almost 14 minutes. And it's 12-11-83 Mazenod. Peninsula 8-8-56. So flying high. There was Peninsula in the ruck, but they weren't able to get it. Quick kick now coming out of Barber. Kicks it to half forward. No one's able to take the mark. Ball in dispute at ground level. Peninsula have got it flying their way. Collins from a standing start at 50 right to the goal line. And just touched through. One behind to Peninsula. They go to 8-9-57. Trail Mazenod 12-11-83. 14.5 minutes played.
Another goal to Bo Morris makes it an even 5 goals at the 28.5 minute mark.
Hall kicks it to himself and then goes out the outer side of the ground, hugging the boundary.
Maybe that earlier score was a predictor score. That's where it might get. But great quarter so far from Mazenod. Peninsula have kind of tried, but they just haven't been able to really have the skills to pull off what they're trying to do into the wind.
Not quite. Boundary out of sight of the ground. Thrown in. Fisher wins a tap down in front. Peninsula win the footy, but they're under a lot of traffic. In the end, sort of tapping it to a teammate, which is a throw. The umpire says play on, but Mazenod have just belted it towards forward 50, trying to do some dancing one way then the other. The kick comes inside. Has it got the carry?
Murdoch.
Yes. No.
Play
Umpire says
on.
play on, no mark. And, the secondary umpire has paid the mark. So the Mazenod fans down there will love that. It is Murdoch who's going to climb off the deck and have a chance to kick his 5th.
So take the margin out to 5 goals. He should kick it.
So maybe kicking his way into some votes. You never know. This would be 5. It's missed. Just the one behind, his first blemish for the day. So 16 minutes ticked over for Sports Cover Arena. 12-12-84 plays 8-9-57 on the BLK Sports scoreboard.
So 27-point lead. So Peninsula playing on from the kick out, which is just not a good one. And Ben Phipps, both the skipper and the coach marks at left half forward for Mazenod. So he elects to go short, but not a great kick. Mark taken by Peninsula. What can they get going? They dash off half back. They kick to a bit of space. Mark taken by George Fletcher. So he's stuffs around with the footy, it's fair to say, and then goes with a little short pass, which wasn't great, but Peninsula are going to get a free kick. They've paid advantage. So tucking the footy under his arm is Felgen. He kicks to centre half forward. No one's able to take the mark. Numbers with Mazenod at ground level. So they go from centre half back into the centre of the ground, about only as far as Fisher for Peninsula. So Fisher goes across the face of goal. Not a great kick at all. So ball still in the dispute, picked up by Harbison. He has one bounce, calls for the players to lead at him. They do so now. Hits a teammate who fumbles but now gets it. Handballs to Harrison. Harrison with the right foot kick to the top of the goal square. Bit of a finger baking punt, and Mazenod take it, and Mark taken there by Torn Henderson.
So shoots inside. Strong clash of bodies, no mark taken. Peninsula with a chance, little hand pass inside. Should have a shot on goal, Glenn. Lines them up on the left. Yeah, the swing, too much swing.
They could have kept running there.
Yeah, just 3-4, one behind. So those couple of big bodies clashing. I think Gentile feeling that one.
I'd say he is, yes.
Yeah, he hasn't moved yet, has he?
They managed to get rid of the footy, and then I guess you feel the pain a bit more when you don't have the footy in your hands. It was a big clash.
So it's Collins for Peninsula as well. Seeing a fair bit of trouble here, Gentile from Mazenod.
So just
he's getting rid of his lunch now.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought he only had breakfast, Joe.
So Peninsula get it to halfback.
Get it.
Oh goodness, the player's still on the ground.
He is too.
As he brings up his
the day's takings.
The day's takings, I think.
Might have been the 3/4 time cordial.
So the mark's been taken by Kellerman for Peninsula.
Do I dare say it looked a little chunkier than that?
I hope that whatever it is, the bug that's hit him is clears up for the celebration for him tonight.
So Kellerman gets very close to the man on the mark. Kick on its way.
Well, they do say once you have a vomit, you're right from there.
You often tend to feel a little better after that, don't you?
You do, yeah.
Second wind.
No, he's not looking good.
So the ball goes out of bounds, left half forward for Peninsula. They trail 58 to 84, so 26-point lead to Mazenod. Second versus third in the grand final. Mazenod won their first final, defeated Caulfield Grammar, made it into the big one. Whereas Peninsula did it the hard way. Mazenod now streaming through the middle of the ground. Inglis kicks to right half forward. And it was a tremendous mark by Ben Phibbs.
It is Ben Phibbs. Great mark.
Using all his guile then, the experience.
And he's got plenty of it.
Player and captain.
He's one of those players, just a great player to watch.
Playing coach, rather. John Canis, what do you think? Playing coaches. You don't see them a lot in the top levels, but more in the lower levels.
Yeah.
So kick on its way, misses to the near side.
No, look, it'd be hard. Depends, you obviously need good people on the bench with you. So, what's going on over there? There's more rubs. They're remonstrating with Ben Phibbs for earlier in the game still, aren't they? Is it Ben there?
Short kick comes in. Collins takes the mark for Peninsula. No time to waste. They go straight down the middle and then the hands off to the run of Moynard.
No.
Not the best kick. They can work it through here, although...
Good luck sitting under that one.
Yeah. Making it difficult. Which way will it bounce? Hand pass comes out into space, but the only ones there are Mazenod. If they can think this through, a couple of hand passes. Hill receives one. Putting some pressure on, though, here. Peninsula trying to work through his Moynard. Has one arm pinned, still able to get rid of the footy.
Well, one of the curious things of today is why... I mean, the Peninsula jumper is navy with a red and gold hoop through the middle of it. Nothing about royal blue at all. I wonder why their supporters are all in royal blue hoodies.
Sale.
Well,
as the kick comes down,
it's Mazenod that have got the royal blue. Does that not seem strange to you, Ken, being the fashion person that you are?
And reeling it in and maybe...
Nothing.
Tweaking something. I think is Collins, who's going to have a shot for Peninsula.
We take it that Bo Morris have taken out the Premier B premiership. Scores disappeared. They've taken all scores off the scoreboard.
I think they just sack who was ever doing that today. Maybe the footy was too exciting as Collins lines up directly in front, but will need a good kick for distance. Let's fly. I think he might have hit it. He's hit the post. So Peninsula go to 8-11-59, trailing Mazenod 12-13-85, and it's too far to come back from here as 22 minutes have ticked over at the clock for sports cover.
So Peninsula worked it to left half back. A kick now to the wing, one-on-one situation. Murdoch flies from the back, almost brings it down in the third grab. He's wrapped up in a big tackle now, and umpire says, give it to me.
Just a reminder that the best player, awarded the best player on the ground, will receive dinner for two at the Onion Patch Bistro in Oakland, so it's worth winning.
More centrally located, Ken, than these southern sides.
Yes.
So kick on its way for Peninsula half forward, but good mark in defence by Mazenod, and they give the handball off to Hall. So Hall goes to the outer side of the ground. Bit of a wayward kick, goes out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in between wing and half forward for Peninsula. So they gave it a good run, Peninsula. They got within a goal early in this last quarter, but fair to say they peaked on their run, and the last 3 goals have been to Mazenod and have kept them at arm's reach. So Peninsula, though, they haven't given up, that's for sure. They kick to half forward. Marshall not able to take the mark. Doing well at ground level there is Steve Oldman, and holds it in for a ball up.
Just to mention around the grounds again for Sky High Mount Dandenong. The score's gone off, but it was Bowie about 100 to 70 some beads, and in the reserves, Bo Morris 11-13-79 defeated Old Scotch 4-6-30.
So ball in dispute at the top of the goal square. Umpires letting the play go as they have tended to do.
Big night at Bowie tonight.
Yes, a lot of excited people, Ken, I'd imagine.
Big night, early morning.
Big day tomorrow.
So kick around the corner from the big fella Fisher. Pitch is just inside. Still in dispute. Mazenod do well to hold it up. And umpire says, give it to me. We'll have a ball up, left half forward. Peninsula still in attack.
So climbing off the deck, last big man pays. He's been good for them. Kicked 1 goal. Tap comes down, the quick kick for Mazenod by Hall. Players flying at the footy. The punch comes in Peninsula's direction, but another quick kick for Mazenod will see them gain some more territory. There's not much between them and the goals in terms of players.
Do me a favour, kick it long. Phibbs has one out down. I want to see that happen.
They just loaded up the defender in best position, though, Coughlin for Peninsula. He gets the hand pass off. They look wide, have a player unopposed.
He's going to chase and he's got him.
Umpire's pay. He's going to pay the 3.
Yeah.
So tussle going on behind play.
Umpire just
And-
sitting back with the. He's getting the book out at the back there.
Yeah, he is. Disappointing, I guess, sort of.
Ah, a bit of emotion spilling. It's
Yeah.
all right.
And just a yellow this time.
Fans are loving
and
it.
a red. So does that mean they got one each or?
Yeah. Well, I got good news for him. He doesn't have to sit out for 15 minutes. Won't matter.
No, with 25 and a half ticking over the clock. Mazenod will have the footy though, as the fans send him off with a sing-along.
Getting the escort from the umpire. Reserve umpire.
So trying to find the footy, eventually.
Well within his range too on the 45-metre line.
So how long has he been at Mazenod, Ben Phibbs? John, do you know?
What's that?
How long has he been at Mazenod?
Maybe 5 years.
Okay.
That's Belgium, isn't it? That's,
Number 30.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Get one back.
He might
As
miss.
the kick lets fly, he's got it too.
Beautiful kick.
Who kicked it?
Ben
Phibbs.
Phibbs.
Ben, wasn't it?
Yeah. And don't the fans love it? 13,
so do
13,
his
91,
teammates.
there's not 8, 11,
He's
59
happy.
Peninsula.
He'd love that.
He's going out of the fence. We got a bit of Milne. Look at him. Ben Stephen Milne Phibbs down there in the goal square.
So 32-point lead to Mazenod. They're sailing towards the Premier C Premiership in season 2016, and they'll be playing in the Premier B section of the competition in 2017. So they've seen off the challenge here from Peninsula, which was spirited, particularly in the second and third quarters. Mazenod, they've worked it to half forward now. Who's able to pick it up? This occasion's Harbison. He's wrapped up in a good tackle. Mazenod dive in. Good tackle applied by Glenn.
Still another spot fire there. Well, that'd be what you want, like a hole in the head, wouldn't it? Down at Elstonwick Park on Tuesday night for a tribunal hearing after a grand final.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be
Two of them.
top of your agenda, but there'll be a couple of them appearing.
Well, only if they want to appear. They don't want
Take
to
the prescribed.
disappear.
Take it early.
Well, might want to miss the first few games of the season.
Well, Brett Harvey, of course, memorably missed the first 6 games of the season, didn't he? 1 year after a
I'll go back further than that. Terry Danaher missed the first 11.
first 11 games.
After the 1990 grand final.
What did he? Oh, I'm not across that one. So, wayward kick from Mazenod, marked by Peninsula, and they'll look to clear.
He missed half the year.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. He KO'd Gavin Brown.
Kevin Brown. Oh, come on, I have to catch up with that.
And then,
on YouTube.
YouTubing?
and then stayed
Yeah.
and punched on. It's right on quarter time in the 1990 grand final.
11 weeks. Okay.
Peninsula's moved the ball to the wing, out of side of the ground here at Elstonwick Park. They slips over, gets the hand pass off. Really just junk time here, waiting for the siren to sound to claim the premiership. Mazenod. As going in hard for the footy is Man. Umpire will come in and ball it up. So half forward for Peninsula against the breeze in the last. They're 8-11-59, trailing Mazenod 13-13-91. The BLK Sport scoreboard coming up to 29 minutes gone. Sports cover. A little hands come out towards Smurdle,
He's been good.
who
They've gone quiet
dances
for
one
last
way
quarter.
then the other, looking for Crowder. Used his body well. Tackle on. It might have been a push in the back. Yes. And it's Crowder. He's going to take the free kick. Tough angle.
Yes. Yeah, difficult shot.
Good,
Into
yeah,
the teeth of the wind, really.
Tough kick from here.
So, Johnny, how do you think both of these sides will go in Premier B next year? Sorry, Joe.
He decides to go short. And the defenders marked it.
Oh, they've both got potential, yeah. They might. I mean, I couldn't see them threatening the upper echelon of the ladder without getting some recruits. But I think there's a bit to work with the Peninsula, to be honest.
Wingard sends them inside again. Won the footy across half forward, but the clearing kick from Mazenod. A little touch on, and Peninsula will be back inside the 50. In dispute, though. Bullocking work. Sees a hand pass come out to Liam Welsford. He'll just go along, has a player unopposed. Will get there on the bounce. Well, it bounces over his head almost. Man trying to work one way Then the other was Thomas. It's a hand pass off, little toe poke, Peninsula's direction out of bounds, umpire ball it in.
So he read that play and he was ready for the tackle. He let him get it, then tackled it.
Don't suppose the timekeeper could fall asleep, could he?
So just ticked past 30 minutes in this fourth and final quarter. 32-point lead to Mazenod in the Premier C Grand Final. So not far away from them being crowned the premiers in that competition as part of the VAFA. So kick out of bounds on the full by Peninsula.
Can we hear at the 1983 C Grade Grand Final?
No.
Do you know who played in it?
No.
We'll look forward to hearing, John.
No idea.
So kicked inside 50 for Mazenod. Spinning out of trouble there was Sherman, and he's been pinged for holding the footy. Advantage was paid, but missed.
Ken, the 1983 C Grade Grand Final was played between the Red Devils from Pitcher Park, Parkside,
Yep.
and Caulfield Grammarians.
Was it really? Who was coaching then with Parkside?
Oh, I've got no idea.
It wasn't Wayne Bannister.
No.
No?
I don't know who coached. Frank Sansonetti and all those guys were playing.
Smurtle trying to run the footy
No,
out of
1980.
defence for Peninsula. Near the line, it might be bustled over. No, they decide
guy
to
Ware on the
keep
wing.
it in Moyniard, taken high.
Were you playing in that one,
No,
Johnny?
but-
Kenneth? Yeah?
1980. You have to go back a long time from 1980 to catch me.
So, look,
1958.
oh, God. Not many people still around from 58, Ken. Good effort from Mazenod here in the dying minutes of the game. They've it's been a hard fought, but good win from them. They've shown a fair bit. Just down to centre half forward for them. Peninsula have had a good go. Got themselves back to within a goal. But from there, it's been all Mazenod.
So Rucks go at it. No one's able to get it. Kick around the corner from Francis Reid through for one behind for Mazenod. So it was the second quarter that really did it for Mazenod. They kicked 7 goals to 3. And I think they may have even kicked 7 straight goals at one point and really stretched the margin.
Yeah.
So Ken you did call it, didn't you, Ken? Halfway through
Oh,
towards the end of the
I
second
wasn't going to
quarter.
mention it.
Well, we've got to give you credit. You did say that the show was over, and even 3 late goals from Peninsula perhaps left you looking a little like you might have gone the early crow, but you've been proven correct. And Mazenod are going to take out the flag in Premier C Division. Peninsula got it to half forward, but mark taken by Mazenod, and they kick up the line. Mark Payton over the shoulder. So Mazenod will get it out of sight of the ground between wing and half forward. So they kick inside 45. Almost a mark to Nick Gentile. But there it is. Mazenod win the Premier C section competition in the VAFA in season 2016. The players are greeted by their adoring fans who rush onto the ground. And Mazenod prevail by 34 points, 13-15-93. Peninsula 8-11-59. The last quarter went 33.5 minutes.
Yes, pretty convincing win for Mazenod. But the other side were played very well in
bowled in
patches
bits and
in the
pieces.
game.
But they can be
Stuck in
well
there.
pleased. I mean,
We're going to have to take a break. Is that right? Good.
Buying or selling property?
34 points was the final margin, but it really was that second quarter when they kicked 7 unanswered goals, which ended up being the difference between the two teams.
just quickly, we should mention that in the reserves game here, Williamstown won the premiership over Mazenod. And down at Sandringham, it was Bo Morris who won by, we think, 5 goals. The St Bede's people took the score off the scoreboard pretty quickly.
Big double.
And in the reserves game down there, it was a comfortable win to Bo Morris against Old Scotch. So 2 reasons to celebrate for the people of Bowie, and Mazenod have just got the one with their 2s going under here against Williamstown in a very entertaining 2s game, actually.
So only a few games left remain tomorrow, a couple of grand
3.
finals to go.
And that first one, of course, that everyone's looking forward to at the start of the day. and that will be the Zaz versus Zaz game.
You'll be there early for that.
I am going to get there early to just take it in. You know why? Because I think that any amateur football person who for almost 2 decades has wondered, well, it is 2 decades, wondered and marvelled at the old Zav's success, you'll get a chance tomorrow to get insights into it, because you will see one of them taking on the other one. And if ever you wanted to work out how to play Zavs in the final, go and have a look to see how they take on each other and what they put into place to beat each other. It'll be something to watch.
And, of course, the game that we're covering, the Premier Section Grand Final.
I'll be exhausted by that point.
You probably will. You don't peak too early
Blues
tomorrow.
playing the twos against Zavs. That'll be enough for me. I don't think I'll stay for the main game.
Yes, it's a big day again for broadcasting.
But I urge people to get there early. 9 o'clock, I think they kick off.
And I understand that the match will actually be streamed through the website as well, the VAFA website, with our call going with it as well. So it's a big day, and we look forward to that. Should be excellent stuff.
Of course, Trinity taking on
expect.
Zavs.
I mean, if the weather holds, I think the weather's going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow. But if it holds and doesn't rain, I wouldn't be surprised if they get a very good crowd there.
And the number 5 got the best on.
Welsford.
Yeah, had him amongst.
Yeah, he was a good player.
Liam Welsford.
Shame we all missed him from our votes.
Yep. I had him in the group though.
Yeah, no, you
Can't put them all in.
Yeah.
And it's just in the eyes of the beholder, Ken. So
That's
the
right.
coach getting up now, the Mazenod assistant coach, no, it's the president giving out the medals. Terrible moment for the losing side there to just sit there and just suck on the end of it, basically. Take your medicine and
Come back next year, bigger and stronger. At least they'll be in Premier B.
another great. Yes, it'll be interesting to see how these two sides come up next year.
So the goal kickers, as best we know, trouble were difficult for Peninsula. 2 to South, and the rest were singles to Grigg, James Fletcher, Pays, Harbison, Kellerman and Crowder. And for the winning side, Mazenod, Murdoch kicked 4, 2 each to Sincotta and Torn Henderson. Singles to Reese Thomas, Riley, Phibbs and Kovac. So, and did I get the other Thomas in there?
He looked a bit more like Kojak than Kovac, didn't he? Didn't have much hair, did he? If I remember.
You remember correctly. So they will be celebrating tonight, but there was a few tired boys out there too, lots of cramping going on.
They get what's known as a second wind, Joe. You've probably experienced it in your playing days.
I don't think I've ever run enough to get a cramp. So wrapping up here from Sports Cover Arena, the Premier C Grand Final, the winning side Mazenod, they beat Peninsula by 34 points. It was Joe Watt and Chris Venus, Ken Petrucco and Johnny Canis who brought you the call today.
Thank you very much, Joe and Chris, because it was a very trying job today with very difficult calling to do. So well done.
Nothing's
And to the
too
morning
much,
crew,
Ken.
also having Fitzy in here too.
Nothing's too
with
much
the
for
morning
these
show.
two tyros of calling, Ken. 2 young tyros they are.
Yeah, that's right.
So presentations continue on the ground, but we'll leave you here. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, the last day of footy
1
for
o'clock
VAFA
start.
2016. 1 o'clock start, should be a cracker. But from us here now, 96.5 Inner FM, it's bye for now.
The VAFA Match of the Day has been brought to you by the VAFA and Sports Cover, the Old England Hotel Heidelberg, William Buck, Sky High Mount Dandenong, BLK Sport, Delios Western Co., the Bendigo Bank East Malvern, Ozfun and Club Warehouse. You've been listening to 96.5 Inner FM, your VAFA football station.
When I said this morning on the radio, yeah. Unfortunately, can't get it tomorrow, but thank you very much for another season. All organised. And they just look like it. Yes. But that was a false lead at 23 to 40. 23 to 46. When I was in that was. The other one, and the pressure was on. Yeah, mate. And you know what no one said, and Scott's credit. I remember years ago he was talking about, oh, don't worry, oh, right. And he was a selfish player, and he had to be selfish when I was even doing board scouting, embarrassing myself. And I am sure the Brad Scott is yeah, give you one of the until you get part of a game. I've had enough. That's it. And I'm like, dude, bro. And not only that, the whole thing of forcing that decision, stuffing up their files, but it was him. Well, when they contract, why don't you go to Tommy? So they do that, so then they go and sock around for a week or two. And they get the Thank you very much for being here today during the season. You don't know what this is.